Good evening, everyone. We're on Selectboard, May 26th, 2026. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Do we have any public comment this evening? Yes, Perry.
I'll jump in. I missed the meeting 2 weeks ago. So short-term rentals, how we doing on the sign-ups there, or
We
haven't-
haven't,
letters?
It's a carry update, I'm not really sure.
We have $25,000, is that right? That's what
she
I
was
saw
supposed to
in
be
the budget.
meeting with everyone. Jim, do you have anything to add to
I
this?
don't, I have not seen any correspondence.
She recently broke her foot, so she's been a little bit out of commission. But I can touch base with her tomorrow and try to get an update for the next meeting. Patty and I were just saying the other day that, we're not seeing the credit card payments come in as quickly as they were. And I don't know where the updated letter that Granicus was supposed to send out stands.
Right.
That
That
That was
was the,
beginning of May, right?
Yeah.
Right,
and it was
so I will reach out to
time-sensitive.
Carrie.
Thank you, Perry, for keeping it top of mind.
Shouldn't she just send you like updates like every 2 weeks or something?
One would hope.
How's it going, Harvey?
Hi, Harvey.
It is a
Good
big
evening.
position, yes.
You missed our public comment from Perry requesting an update on short-term rentals.
Michelle, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Thank you.
I'll get
Which
it. I'll
we
get
have
it
not
from.
received.
I'll get it from Carrie.
I mean, as of May, right now, we've made 29,400 for short-term rentals. I haven't seen a lot of stuff come through lately. Dribs and
Okay.
drabs.
Yeah.
So 29,000
Through probably about a week ago
over there.
that I had posted.
So divide by 200 is 200. The fee was 200, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would give us the total for the number of people.
Roughly, yes.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Call it 28,
Okay,
so 140,
It feels like Monday.
140-ish.
140ish.
100 plus.
147.
Our human calculator is doing something right now. Let's see what's going on.
Maybe he's calculating.
No, I think he's shutting down, which is a good reminder because I forgot to. Any other public comment? Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Okay, agenda changes.
I just have, there's a map in all of your folders that Ben Old sent for 4th of July set up out here. And for Brooksfield, he's looking for an answer, relatively soon. I don't think we need one tonight. But if you want to look at it tonight so I can give him feedback, you can. But it's basically just, it's changed a lot since what we
I was
discussed.
just gonna say, just glancing at it, it
Exactly.
seems to me like it's not just a quick.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, looks
So
good.
if you all could look at it, and get me feedback by, if we want to do it tonight, we can add it to other business. But that was just something. And then we have,
It is pretty much what we talked about.
I don't recall the food being over by the band. I recall the
Yeah.
food being over here.
I have a few versions where it's here, but that changed when we didn't indemnify George from all things.
So I haven't been part of any conversations where we talked about what that meant, and all the changes. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
have.
There really hasn't been
I've just
any
gotten
formal
a few,
conversations.
I've
Yeah.
gotten a few emails like, hey, what do you think of this? And I said, well, something can't go there and something could go there. And
Jeff is taking it to the fire department tomorrow night for their feedback because they have training tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're a large part of what happens
Yeah.
up here. So I let Ben know that we'd get back to him by the end of the week. So,
okay, well, if we have time, we'll look at it.
yeah. We need to add executive session at the end of the meeting. I would say no more than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just have something I want to share in other business also.
And Ben has also asked for a Venmo account.
Right.
So we're looking into a Venmo account
Yeah.
for donations.
Right. Should that be on an agenda?
Yeah, I think that-
Just added, it
yeah.
seems like a
Yeah.
big enough conversation.
I think
Yeah.
Patty and I are trying to do our homework before we bring it to an agenda because, if you know, like PayPal, like Venmo, you know, they take a certain percentage. So if somebody gives us a $50 donation, we're not actually getting $50, we're getting, you know, but Patty's looking into seeing if, you know, we identify as a municipality, which we are, you know, does that change the percentage that Venmo takes? But, so we've got some homework to do before we present at a meeting.
Okay.
But being on hold with them for however long is really not in the card right now. So,
I like the callback feature,
yeah.
whenever it's
Yes.
available.
Sometimes you don't always get that though. It's frustrating.
Okay, any other agenda changes? Cool, let's jump right in. Festival permit, Warren Wind Down.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you
It's all
want,
you.
do you want to pull it up?
Yeah, do you
I
guys
do.
have any questions? You got the permit. I don't know if you got the map. Adam said he was tackling that.
I haven't gotten the
Didn't
map
see
yet.
the map.
What
Okay.
just happened? It did this on its own, but I didn't do,
I mean, I can,
Just moved your mouse.
sorry.
we don't have plans to have anything be different than last year layout wise, if that's helpful. And as far as the roping, it would be basically what we did last year, which is the green space, essentially. Sort of ending at the pavilion and like just where there's lawn.
Mm-hmm.
And the portal, are you
The
doing a
porta potty, yeah, we will. Last year it was where there, oh, there's Adam, so that's good. There's one currently. I'm like, will that still be here? But I think that's for the construction.
It is, yeah.
Which they'll probably be done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that worked last year. It seems like a good drop-off point for the supplier. And you know, it's, of course, people just can't bring their beverages to the bathroom, but
Right.
we'll have signage this year.
Okay,
So that was, I know one thing that came up was the layout.
yeah, it says a map will be provided, I think.
Yeah, and Adam just pulled in, so maybe he has one in his pocket, but, yeah, I think it is gonna just be like it was last time.
Just the green.
Just the green, yeah.
Cool.
And just remind me, it says volunteers to rope off alcohol area. Is that gonna be kind of the whole?
The whole green, I mean, that's
Pretty
what we did
much,
last
right?
year and it was fine, because
Yeah.
otherwise you can't really like be in front of the music and have your drink or
Yeah.
go get dinner or, so that, I thought that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it worked, except my child pulling on a rope.
Oh.
Worked beautifully. I don't have any other questions. I wonder, given that it's the Wednesday after the 4th of July, if there will be a larger turnout.
That would be fine. You know, we had some food vendors that said that it was actually not a big enough event for them.
Yeah.
Which has made it a little more challenging to get vendors this year. I have Gracie's lined up already, but I'd like to get at least one more. And like, I really want to get Michael's, but they said, oh, it's not big enough.
Yeah.
I think I said 100 to 150, which is probably even the high end of what we had last
Right.
year. And they said not big enough. So I need to find another smaller food vendor. But if we do get a lot of turnout, then that will give us more options for hopefully doing an August event as well. And maybe we could get some bigger vendors.
Okay.
Who's your music? Do you know yet?
We don't know yet.
You don't know yet.
And the other thing I don't have locked in, okay, is the, who's gonna sell drinks. Last year we had the local, they were great, and they said that they don't have enough staff this year. So, and I just found that out. So I don't know, I'm sure we can find someone else as long as, you know, but one thought I had, and I haven't even had a chance to talk to folks about this, but would it be possible to have it be BYOB? Would we be able to ensure that? No?
We can't
The
ensure that.
vendor
We
has
have to have
the
somebody,
insurance.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Somebody has to have the liquor license and the catering. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, I was thinking I could ask the Hideaway, because I know they do that, where they do off-site events. So, I'll probably try them next. Another option would be Lawson's. They don't have as many options,
Right.
but it would be something. I don't know if,
So the Waitsfield Roundup is starting. Did we?
I haven't seen anything about that.
I heard that from another source, and I was thinking whoever's doing their alcohol should certainly be available on Wednesday. They're doing it on Thursdays.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Where are they doing?
on the green, the town green.
Right.
Like the farmer's market green?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my other thought was Hideaway, because I know they have that permit. I don't
So
know,
our permit would be conditioned upon
the vendors.
having a vendor who's,
Okay, I can
Got that
definitely follow up
license.
on that. I'm gonna,
If there's gonna be alcohol, for sure.
yeah, right,
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
if there's no
yes.
alcohol, then you don't need a vendor selling it, but,
yeah, I mean, I think when you have music, it's a good option
yeah,
for people to have, like even just beer and wine could be fine.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd suggest.
I think that was the first thing that sold out last year.
Yeah.
Adam, there was some question as to whether or not you had a site plan, or Michelle was saying y'all are just planning on roping off the green.
Yeah, the thing I said I was gonna do.
No,
The answer is no.
No,
I
not
have a
today.
piece, I have a piece of paper. You want to Want to just edit this?
yeah, how do
Yeah,
I,
right.
can I edit this in real time?
Did you guys attend the test here?
You
Was
what?
it here?
Can I edit this?
No, it's a PDF. This computer doesn't have a
See the map?
Reader.
reader. Yeah, just a reader.
One doctor, this one for, that we're looking at for the 4th of July.
Yes.
Okay,
Real
well,
time.
I think if there's gonna be alcohol, conditioning the permit on making sure you have a vendor with a catering license is important. And also sending all of the, just the same thing, like the insurance,
You need the
certificates of insurance for the vendors, need to come to us.
Yep.
Yep.
And anything else? I think
I have
we waived the
questions when we
fees.
have a chance, I don't know when you.
Yeah, please,
Um,
Alice.
When is this event going on, first of all? What's the date?
July 8th.
So right after the 4th.
Yep.
Okay, and how much are you charging for using the pavilion and everything? I think we need to charge this year. No more free. You have electricity out there, you have Wi-Fi, and we're all facing huge tax increases. And if this is an issue, I feel adamant about it, because they could put a bucket out, collect whatever funding they want, but we need to charge for this.
We'd be charging ourselves, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a community event, so.
Like the host
It's a
is the.
community event
Yeah, it's
on the town
sponsored by the
green.
town.
Yeah.
So
Sponsored
we
by the
need
town, so
to
the town would
charge.
be paying the town.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a town-sponsored event, so it's kind of
It's the
like,
planning commission and the historical society that are trying to bring people to the pavilion and the barn.
Well, fine, but we all live here, and I'm concerned how many times a month these musical events are gonna be happening.
Our idea was to do 2 this summer, so there'd be 1 in July, and then probably, we did late August last year, and so we'd aim for that again.
And how many other musical events is the town opening this up to? We talked about this last year, and I remember the discussion clearly, because I'm concerned. It does affect us. And if we're gonna have musical events on a monthly basis, I would prefer only 2 a month. And also, I do believe we should be charging permits for use of the pavilion, period. I don't know what you're talking about when the town does this, the town does that. Our taxes are outrageous, and this is something that we're heating, or not heating, but we're lighting the pavilion year-round, and there's Wi-Fi over there year-round. So yes, we're paying for it, and I don't think a small fee like $50 is too big to put in a pavilion pot or something.
To date, we've decided that the pavilion isn't for rent, such that someone can't reserve it, with the exception of town
event.
organizations sponsoring events there. So it's not something that we're like offering to rent for a wedding or a private party, or there can't be any event there that excludes the public.
Right.
So from a rental perspective, it's a little tricky there. We will be discussing at some point soon a renewed rental agreement for the town hall, which is really the only building that we charge for
Right.
use. I mean, I certainly hear your concerns about noise and busyness in town, and I think last year we agreed on like the 8:30 PM end time or sundown, as opposed to like a later time to honor the wishes of people with families and other things going on in town. And it looks like they've followed through on that, so it's 5 to 8:30 for shutdown, which means they should be cleared up and out of here by 9ish, right?
I might just add, you have parentheses sundown. I think
Should-
for the sake of,
Should
we
be
should have
before,
a
right before
a
sundown.
time. We should have a
Yeah.
time, just so it's not vague, you know,
Oh,
what is
yeah,
sundown, that
I'd say
kind of thing.
whichever is earlier, just because depending on where people are parking.
No later than 8:30 is what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
Okay,
Yeah.
do we have any other questions about the permit?
Was Adam doing a sketch or something that we want to look
Yeah,
at, or
making
we?
a site plan.
So
Do we
Okay.
need that?
last
Can
year
we-
we tried to get people to park up at the cemetery. I thought I had verbal permission from Jeff Campbell on behalf of the cemetery commission. I did not have permission. And the question is, should I seek permission and should we encourage people to park up there? Because there was some on-street parking. I didn't hear any complaints about that. But I would like to know what your
Well, if you think that
preference is.
you're, if you think you're going to increase it and you want to have that option, then you need to make a request to the cemetery commission, and the commission can.
And who should I contact for that?
You can ask Brent, he can pass that on to the rest of the commission.
Okay. And do you think that we need cones anywhere to keep people away from any particular spot?
That's a good question.
I think that's a question for Mr. Safety.
Yes.
For Jeff? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just asking
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Harvey, do you know if that's a fire department training night? Or if it's like
July
a
8th.
July, or if it's like a executive committee or truck
Second and
maintenance?
fourth, right?
They've gotten it so screwed up now.
What day is it?
It is
It's a
training.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's a training night, so it'll be busy with
Right.
fire department members that night up here.
I think we had that coincide last year too.
I think last year was truck maintenance, so it wasn't as
Yeah,
busy,
if it's an actual meeting, it's
but training night is more busy.
definitely.
Any potential to 18 to 20-ish trucks, vehicles up here. So,
So securing
Also, I'll email Jeff, yeah.
yeah.
parking at the cemetery would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes fire department does training offsite
Correct,
too.
yep.
Good
You
check
know,
with Jeff.
and then something else to keep in mind is that, pitcher in employees also park up here. So,
Okay.
yep, they've got rights to, I think, 14 spots. I don't know if they don't think they use 14, but I do think there's 14 out here, but yeah.
I
So,
thought it was 10 up here.
might be 10. So, but I think
They
if
don't
we
use
communicate,
I'm sure someone will be parking behind the store, which is the other
Okay.
place they're allowed to park.
okay.
Okay, well, how do we feel? We feel good about approving the permit?
It seems like there's some yes buts, like they haven't gotten permission for the parking, they haven't figured out the parking.
Who's serving alcohol?
Who's serving alcohol?
Yeah. So how about like
Provisional, yes.
provisional approval,
Yeah.
and please come back with certificates of insurance, confirmation from the cemetery commission, or another plan
Yeah.
for parking, and this beautiful site plan can be attached.
Yeah, that's really helpful because it's a little bit of a chicken egg problem where it's easier to get vendors if we can say that we have the permit.
Well, you have a
yeah.
provisional yes for the permit.
Okay,
We're behind you. We just need to cross our Ts and dot our Is.
Yeah, we'll definitely follow up on those items.
Okay. Good.
So I I hate to keep pursuing this, but the town makes money or they break even on this? Well, I don't get what you've explained to me.
So think of it this way, since the town is the one applying for the permit, then the town, out of the town budget, would have to pay the fee, which is what you're concerned about, is that the town's having to pay for it.
Yes, we're paying for the band.
But the town would also be paying the permit fee. So it'd be charging the town more if we charged a fee to the town.
Well, can't you, the town sounds like they're asking for the band to play, which is fine, I have no objection to this, but I don't quite understand why, and they're paying the band, correct?
I believe the Historical Society and the Planning Commission are paying for the event out of their budgets.
Yes, town budget, basically.
Yeah, town budget,
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Right, so, but it's
We don't
budgeted
make
money to them,
on
it's
it,
not,
is what I'm trying to
it's not an
say. The
addition.
town doesn't make any money on
it's not
this.
meant to make money, it's meant to foster community.
event, yeah. It was in the budget, it was proposed in the budget originally, that was approved in March as an expenditure.
Okay, so in order for anyone to have anything, they have to come to the select board, I suppose, and say they'd like the select board to pay for an event in the pavilion, correct? That sounds,
The town, and any
Any
town
town organization.
staff or organization.
uh-huh.
Otherwise,
Would have to
people
ask.
can use the pavilion, but it's open to the public, and we can't ensure that other people won't be
Right.
also using it. It's meant to be a communal space, not,
Right.
yeah, not
I would like
restrictive
to
of
see it
others.
self-supporting somewhat too. I mean, I don't see why.
I think
it's-
that's a good conversation, and we can certainly have that, Alice. It's one that we have had preliminarily, and maybe when we have on the agenda the rental agreement for the town hall, we could have a bigger discussion about
All
that.
right,
Is that,
yeah, because the
So
town
keep your eye
hall,
on the
you
agenda.
charge people to use the
yeah,
town hall.
so keep your eye on the agenda, because that's coming up in the next, I would say, month,
Yeah.
probably. The
Yeah.
discussion about fees for the town hall. And
Yep,
we can
and
have a
maybe we
bigger
do-
conversation about the
Think of it a
pavilion.
little
Yeah.
like the 4th of July, where you
Right.
ask for,
I would like to
Sponsors,
see more
donations.
money coming into the town
yeah,
rather than going
support-
Yeah.
through our
to support the
pockets.
events that the town.
And,
Yeah.
and on a, from a, like a broader perspective, as far as these events that foster community, our hope is that in fostering community and care for the space around here, when we do host a volunteer day to pick up the yard and spruce up the buildings, more people show up because they feel more invested in the community and in the physical space. So it is with the intention of bringing something back to the town, but it isn't necessarily an immediate financial gain. So let's continue the conversation about that when we do the town hall. Okay, good?
Yep.
Awesome. Roots work. Hi guys,
Hello.
how are ya?
Good.
You're welcome to join us up here or stay where you are, whatever makes you comfortable.
Maybe we'll move up the row.
Move up a row. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Adam, don't lose that map. How are you guys?
Good. How you guys?
Good, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I think we probably missed our usual annual window, and I just sort of wanted to start with, we apologize. We've lost a lot of historic members, and I think it's kind of fallen off our radar what our usual timing is with you guys.
This is it.
For a checkup. Is this
this
it?
is it, yeah.
We're in
Yeah.
time?
This is when the
Couple
lease
months.
renews.
I
and,
think so, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So we're right on schedule. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
Do
thank
you
you for
have to say
coming.
anything?
Sorry, I thought we were late. I was like, God, we're supposed to do this earlier.
No, for some reason the lease started in May, so it's always been now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, please, tell us how things are going.
Shall I go? Yeah. They're going pretty well. We have we have about 3 active projects. One is the radio station, which has about 47 programmers on it, and some other stuff from outside the community. And we have the community gardens, and I'm uncertain the number of gardeners. I'm guessing around 20 out back. And we've been working on restoring the East One Schoolhouse for 25 years, 26 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically where we are.
You say about 20 gardeners?
I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get
That's
Jane
cool.
to tell me what's going on.
It seems like it's expanded over the years. It's nice.
It has, yeah.
That's very cool.
All the plots, I think, are used this year.
Yeah.
Great.
That's the last time I talked with
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Jim.
And we do Zwick has made it possible for us to expand if we had
Oh, yeah?
more demand, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
very nice.
Onto his property?
Onto his property, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, the gardens actually are on his property.
Right,
Because
that's
Root
right.
Circle only has it expanded, I forget what it is now, 25 feet behind the building is the town property.
Yeah.
Right.
Used to be 2 feet, now it's 25 feet. Yeah,
That's like this one.
yeah, is it?
The town hall.
Yeah, like
right? It's
right on the drip
basically
edge.
the drip line.
Yeah, we had the bench too.
Yeah.
And then when Ann gave the right of way and sold the land to Zeb, I think the town and she negotiated the lease, the extra 25 feet.
I see.
That's good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
That's the only thing else.
Oh, and I should say, we have about, I forgot the Fuel Group, which is our other project, which funds a lot of our programs.
Yeah.
And funds a lot of the
is it here?
It's,
restoration, and I just brought this,
It funds the
It-
fuel group?
the Fuel Group funds a lot of the programs, helps fund the radio station slightly, and it funds the, I think there's two there.
Didn't know there was.
And it funds some of the work on the schoolhouse. So,
Oh, this is great.
and then I have another one which shows the money we've taken in for rent over the past 24 years. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Thank you for
or maybe if you could just pass it around.
Lot of this project too. All the pictures. Lately, in the last year or so, we've been also collecting historical picture of the building, and if you now go to the market, you can see.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a little museum.
it's very cool. I love the pictures in there.
It's an East Warren museum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and mostly centered around May Blair, who took the photographs.
She's
And
awesome.
was, as you all probably know, is Rupert's mother, Rupert Blair's mother. So basically, the rent and what we put into the building, we're about $50,000 ahead of the rent on our investment in the building.
Wow.
And that takes us up to December 25. So we've collected rent since then, and we've also just agreed to the contracts with the painters
Yes, I heard for both.
for another
Yeah.
$65,000. Yeah.
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
And sorry for derailing you. And thank you for working with us.
Yeah, well, we're happy that we're getting it done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as are we.
Yeah.
And I think the repairs to the siding will make that paint job last a fair bit longer.
Yeah,
So that's good.
no, we all think that's a good idea.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I know we threw that on you in short notice and I apologize for that. This
So-
is really helpful. Thank you for doing this, John. I don't know that I've seen this before.
No, I think I just told you verbally, but
Yeah, this is
it
very,
took me a while to go back through the archives and
yeah.
the
But
stuff.
going forward, this is super helpful.
Yeah.
And I guess from a board perspective, we'd like to hear how things are going for you guys with respect to your, who you're leasing to and what your thoughts are there and how we can continue to foster a positive relationship here with sort of the shift of from this board with respect to like bringing on a property management company and trying to build capital improvement plans for our buildings and how we can facilitate doing that together.
Yeah, I think we can. And Don Swain was always going to put together a capital improvement plan for the building, and we have never gotten it done.
It's a big project.
It is a big project.
Yeah.
Huge.
But if you look at that list, we have replaced most of the mechanical systems very recently, like in 2024. We replaced a lot of it.
New boiler, new heat pump, new water heater.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that project.
All the windows have been replaced, new floors upstairs, new ceiling upstairs, new wiring back in forget when that was, in the teens, 2000 teens sometime. It's really improved over the years. The town did a lot too. The town encapsulated the cellar. I think that was maybe 15 years ago. Barry Simpson got that done. We since added electric heat in the cellar, just a small panel to keep the pipes from freezing because they would still freeze. So over the years, it's really been improved. When we first held meetings there, we were in coats and mitts in the winter.
Well, and the energy audit that we did last year came back favorably. I shared that with
good.
you, I think, and they were pleased by how, for such an old building, there wasn't a lot that needed to be done from an envelope perspective.
Yeah.
With the exception of some improvements in the basement, like a better encapsulation. I guess they've come a fair way with respect to doing that, because what you guys have is what was done always.
Right.
And then some improvements in the envelope in the attic.
That just has cellulose board.
It's the blown-in cellulose, but like even above the cellulose, some air sealing in the cracks,
Oh, yeah.
like the broken windows, some minor things, and like the exit door, which is something I wanted to chat with you about.
Yeah,
Upstairs is single pane,
Oh, yeah.
and I was talking with Mark from Marvin Windows and Doors, and he said this door is in beautiful shape and it's an old door. You could just replace that pane of glass with a double pane piece. So I
It needs a
asked,
sweep also.
yeah, and a gasket
Yeah.
set. So we've asked Green Mountain Painters if that's the kind of thing that their repair team could do while they're prepping the building. And then there was a window, the one window in the office of the market building. It looks from the outside like it's lacking a sill.
Oh.
And so, and Alicia was commenting that one in particular is pretty drafty. So there was some concern that maybe either stops were forgotten or it wasn't insulated around the window
I'm not sure what
itself.
happened to that, because it was broken into, and we put in a new window, or we had that one repaired.
It's the only one that's like lacking a bottom piece. So we can take a look together,
Yeah,
but
I think maybe the repair was never completed entirely.
yeah, maybe.
So,
And then there's the one window that's behind the refrigerator that has a screen on it instead of the
Storm.
storm on the lower
Oh.
part. And
is
that-
it a new window or an old window?
It's the one. It's like the sort of the big bank of windows that got like restored.
Oh, yeah.
It's
that's
probably
right.
like in the middle of the set, and there's a screen on it instead of the storm.
No storm.
And the
Yeah.
refrigerator's in front of it, so
I was just gonna
It's
say.
definitely not
there's no
refrigerator.
point not might
Yeah.
not put the
Right.
storm back on. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if there is a storm for that one?
I don't think there is. I mean, unless they took it off and put it somewhere. And
she didn't even. Alicia said she didn't even know that. It
They
was a
opened.
problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the storms are what are creating that double pane glass effect
Right,
there.
yeah,
So
no.
it would be great to put a storm there.
Yeah.
Do you know who did the windows?
Yes. Wanamaker
Really?
woodwork.
Ron
Yeah.
Wanamaker did the windows?
Yeah.
He just did the front door.
Right. Yeah. He did a great job on our windows. I heard was there a problem with the door? Or was
No.
that fine?
No, the door is beautiful.
Oh, good.
It's a very old door.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
It just, one has to love it before they walk in, or it won't let them in.
Okay. Okay. I know doors like
You know, like these old buildings, they
Yeah.
have minds of their own.
Right.
They've got little quirks.
No.
Well,
No, he did a
Ron is
beautiful
trying
job.
very hard to retire, so I wonder about getting a storm.
Maybe we should do it before he does.
Yeah.
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 Is that something that you could reach out to him about?
I can't believe there isn't one, because he did that, he
Or
did-
maybe look around, maybe it is
Yeah,
there.
it might be back in there, in the market shed.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a document of this? Because I haven't seen it, these of the energy assessment and
Yeah,
whatever is missing.
absolutely.
I can
Yeah,
send
from
those to
last
you.
year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I shared them with you,
I
John,
don't
but
remember them either, but maybe, sometimes things go by
Yeah.
and I don't see them.
yeah, absolutely.
Do they have a list of all these issues or?
This one, the energy assessment doesn't address all of
Right.
these different things. We did a walkthrough around the building the other day, Joel and I and Rebecca, and we were chatting and looking at some stuff. And those were a couple of the things that we noticed. So I'm hopeful that when we do the repair work before we get into painting, that we can make that a double pane piece of glass. And if we can find a storm, great, then it can be painted. The windows are really nice and they're historic, you know, historically accurate. It looks like some of them were primed but not ever painted. So they need a little bit more love than they might have otherwise. Some of the wood is degrading. But they'll fix that.
They
Green
were
Mountain Painters.
painted and said that they're gonna do it.
They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yep. But so it would be nice to have that other storm in if we
Yes.
could, so
Yes.
that can get painted to match
Yeah.
too. And then the repairs around that one window. I don't know if Green Mountain Painters had that window called out. They did a really nice job I loved their pictures and like
Yeah.
showing exactly what they felt like they needed. That was really great.
Right.
I don't remember if that window was on it.
I don't remember.
So I mentioned it to Chad and he was gonna talk to Green Mountain Painters about it.
Okay. And the sill in
Yeah.
the cemetery alley, somehow that has to be addressed.
The sill on the cemetery has to be addressed and we still haven't found someone to do it.
Yeah.
And that like went very back and forth with Hugh. I think we felt like we had said, yes, please do it. And then it got confusing and he said, you said no. And it is what it is. It's totally fine.
I mean, it was called off at that point.
So I did make contact with someone who said that they are interested in doing it, but that they don't have time until December, but might be able to squeeze it in between the project they're on now and the next project. So I'm going to follow up with them. And Chad and I have been talking about it. Do you have any ideas?
For actual, Hugh was the only idea I have.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the middle of it, so. And I don't know what Chad thought about his technique, but I think it's a fairly standard technique for a bearing wall that has a foundation under it, which is to replace, 8 feet at a time. Since it doesn't have to span to take the load, because it's just sitting on a foundation. That seemed like a decent approach. And that has to be done before the wall's re-insulated, because all that vermiculite insulation came out when he opened the wall up at the bottom. And then I guess, if you're going to re-encapsulate it, it would have to be done before that's done too. So no, I don't have any other ideas for contractors who might be free. I'll think about it. But,
Yeah, if you would.
I know that KMK has reached out to a number of people and they just don't have the time
Right,
to come and do it.
yeah.
I think he said like 2 or 3 other companies that do that and they either won't call him back or said just flat out, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Right. We can talk about that.
Yeah, let's put our heads together and
Yeah.
try and figure out how to get it done.
Yeah.
Okay. What, give me a second here. The
Sure.
lease is here. Is it up and we have to sign it
No, the lease is due in another year.
in another year? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Check in.
This
Great.
time next year.
5 years.
Right. So, we'll try to come to, assuming that you want us to keep going with the building.
Yeah. I think what we just want to make sure over the next year, let's work out a system for how we want to manage the building. And keeping KMK in the loop. They're sort of building us a capital improvements plan. So we're going to see some of that from them and then we can talk through with you guys, like what does that look like financially? How much, what's realistic? How do we plan projects out? That kind of stuff.
So that list of, which is kind of small and hard to read, but you'll know what mechanical things have been replaced.
Yep.
When.
Yeah, I'll
So-
scan this to them tomorrow.
So they
It's great.
can use that.
Yep, that's awesome. And what are you thinking about the rents you're taking in?
It would be good if the rent would cover, the maintenance on the building, I think, and, some upkeep, which is technically, in lieu of town's not getting any taxes on the building.
Yeah,
Alright.
So ours, sublet rent, I would think would cover most of the maintenance, ideally. So it would help to have,
Almost, and now it's almost, but not completely, right?
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand
The capital plan would help decide what that would be.
what that looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we get a better understanding of costs.
yeah.
Okay, and then what about the, like, annual maintenance stuff? I don't mean annual, maybe monthly, I don't know what the schedules are, but like
Cleaning and,
the cleaning of the building, filter changes,
Yeah.
boiler maintenance, that kind of stuff.
That's-
Do you guys have a schedule for that?
We cover that. Yeah, we have a schedule. We clean once a month. We have somebody clean. And we mow the lawns, during the summer. I think that's every 2 weeks. Might be every week.
Yeah,
So we pay for that. Pay for the insurance for people to be on the property, which I imagine you guys also probably have to have same coverage, right? And I'm not sure where, on the various equipment in the building, I'm not sure. The market pays for some of it and we pay for others, so.
yeah,
As I recall, there was septic maintenance
That's
kind
right,
of
yeah.
gets a little,
Yeah, Kingsbury
At
pumps it,
times.
I think, twice a year,
and that,
and we cover
those
that.
are your costs, but
Yeah.
if there's a failure of any kind, that's on the
Correct.
town.
Yeah, that's right. The town originally, just when Roots Work started, the town, after they decided they weren't gonna burn the building, they replaced the roof.
Right.
Right.
So that's a 40-year-old plus standing seam roof that Burrell did back then.
That's gonna
Yeah.
be on the capital,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, so that's good.
yeah.
Probably has 10 years to go, or 20.
And there was a request made for snow bars or cleats of some kind
Yes,
on that
yes,
roof?
we were gonna do that.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have a company that we buy them from if you want some information on
Oh,
that.
sure. Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that. And they'll like design a system for snow loads,
Yeah.
which is great.
This is a very small roof, it just needs to keep it from sliding off.
On the main building.
It's on the, no, it's
On
just
the
for
side.
on the loading dock.
The request that I received was for the main building on the east side of the roof.
Well, that's not what we were told.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
chat.
Okay.
We can talk
yeah.
about it. And there was something else I wanted to ask. Oh, when you have the cleaning people come, will you please ask them to clean the windows in the stairwell?
Yeah, we could do that.
Is that something they do? And
They,
they're
I'm sure they do it.
great?
It costs quite a bit to do that. But it's looking dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty grimy.
okay.
That would be great.
Okay.
You've made such nice improvements and all the pictures are there. I'm like walking up the stairwell, looking at them. I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. Just don't look up.
But the pictures are there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good idea,
Yeah.
maybe put it on a
Yeah.
regular basis, maybe annually or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or a couple times a year, like when you
Yeah.
wash them. I wash the
Yeah.
windows in the spring and in
Yeah.
the fall, you know.
Actually, yeah, it might take somebody special to do those, because I don't know if Katie can get up. Because
Up there.
the window above the, the actual drop
Yeah.
over the stairwell, you need a special ladder to get
Yeah.
up there.
There is a local guy that does window washing.
Mm-hmm,
I can't remember his name.
yeah.
He's great.
Sandy.
Is it Sandy? Yeah,
so, that sounds right.
I think you're right.
Mhm.
He does the Artisans Gallery building.
Yeah.
He does a
okay.
nice job.
All right, we'll look into that.
Any other questions from the board? Any concerns that you guys want to talk with us about? I think that the market.
Parking, that's.
The parking lot.
Yeah, the parking lot, you guys are about to pave,
What do
right?
you think?
I think that's a great idea.
The lights,
Yeah.
Everybody
I
loves
wish
the
we'd done
idea.
it whenever the last chance we had was.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Andrew
good.
and I will be up. He's on vacation this week. We just want to, just get a feel of, like, does it need to extend over here, or like I know that you have the cement pillars for your loading dock.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So
Right.
just want to come up and touch base with you and Alicia and get a feel. Andrew hasn't even put it out for bid yet. So it'll be a little bit, but he definitely wants to do
Yeah.
that this year.
I mean, one concern I think we all have about the parking lot is it fills up, it's a parking lot, right? We got a subsidy to put it in and get the gravel. But it fills up with park and ride people, and there's very little parking left for, patrons of the store or people using the building.
Does that
People
happens
work around
frequently?
it. Yeah,
Interesting.
it doesn't bother me so much, but I do hear the people who work at the market saying,
Every once in a while you get street parking.
yeah,
like on
everybody's
a-
walking, which is
It
great,
depends on,
Yeah.
People are
town
walking around the
cluster.
block or they're commuting to work from
Well,
there.
I wonder if we paved it, we could consider something like this where
Right.
there is the striping of the lot
Definitely
in the
need the
middle,
striping, that would help.
Which
Oh, in the
would-
middle.
right? Which would
I don't think we have the
potentially
width for that.
no.
No, because you can barely back out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you do the angled
Maybe.
parking, you
Yeah.
could probably get.
Plus you
That
got
would
the
help.
trucks coming in.
This is for
from-
someone smarter than I with
I mean,
respect to
if we could
parking.
look at it to see if this might be some way to expand it slightly or just get a few more spaces, that would be worth it before we pave.
It might be worthwhile labeling like a number of them for market access only too.
Is there
Yeah,
any
you could.
problem with that,
We
with the
could.
regs?
I don't know.
I mean,
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I don't know if you can
I
do
like
that
the
for park
idea.
and ride.
Yeah, I
If
don't
there's a
know.
certain number of spots that we said we were creating, then I think we would have,
Right.
probably have to look back at
Yeah,
what
we
we
need
said.
to
in the
look back
grant.
at that,
I can look.
at what the grant said for the park and ride,
yeah.
and make sure that there are that many spots available for that purpose.
Right.
But then you could list the rest
And
of
then
them
you
as
could list
market
the
only.
rest,
Yeah.
and you could have like one for the radio station.
We could go to 2 stories, I think,
We'll go underground.
Underground, there we go.
So,
Jim.
I have a question. So, the big cement pillar in front of the cemetery,
Yeah,
is there something more creative we could do there to protect the fence? I think the cemetery commission put it in, but could we be more creative than having a
Ask
big
for it.
cement pillar in front of our
you don't like the
gorgeous little
piers?
cemetery?
I think we put it in because people were backing into the cemetery
Yeah,
fast.
Yeah, but can
we
you-
asked to have it
Can
put
we
in.
put
'cause-
something
yeah.
else in?
Yeah,
Could we, is there something
pretty-
something that looks good.
aesthetically pleasing in
Um,
front of that cemetery? Right, I mean, I think
Well, I guess we could consider bollards, like real bollards.
That's, oh,
even a tree.
I mean, like granite.
Granite bollards.
Well, I thought we talked about doing stainless steel here instead of granite, because the granite
You
get back
find that
into
word,
it.
Yeah,
right,
granite
in the
would get
concrete
busted.
pillar.
They just get,
I
I
don't
mean,
know, I'm just thinking something in front of that cemetery. I mean, it's just it's a shame that you've got that.
we also have those large
It's a gorgeous spot.
boulders protecting the septic holding tanks and the grease tank.
Yep,
So it could be combined with that. You
Just
know,
something to think about. I'm
Yeah.
not a,
a nice rock,
Big rock.
Nice rock.
We love
Nice
a
rock.
nice rock,
There you go.
a planter.
Or a big,
Yeah, right.
a fairly high granite curb would stop a truck from going
Yeah.
through there.
Yep,
And that wouldn't get busted, I
something,
think.
just something to think about.
Okay. It's a good idea.
anything else from the board's perspective they want to ask Roots Rip while they're here?
And I wanted to bring up that we're not going to have it, but we do have people who ask to use the green.
Yeah,
And if they're a nonprofit, we let them use it for free.
yep.
In fact, if they're a Warren resident, we generally let them use it for free.
You
So-
guys do like the yard
There's-
sale stuff.
There's yard sales, and there's one for, I forget the name of the organization, but it was for somebody who lost his daughter to somebody who was texting while driving. And they want to have, his organization wants to have an event.
Live more, text less.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's happening, I think in August up there.
Cool.
And I told him he might need to check if he needs a permit from the town, but
I think he does.
our policy is basically to let these things happen.
Yeah,
and
I remember
use the
Sam
space.
needed a permit to do the juice
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
I think
as a
he needs a
vendor.
permit, yeah. I think he needs a
Right.
permit.
Yeah. So, just letting you know that's happening.
Thank you.
I think so.
Would you let him know when you chat with him next to get
Yeah, I
in
did
touch?
already.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
with a festival permit?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great. Awesome. I think Chad is chatting with Green Mountain Painters about the dates requested from the market for closure
Mm-hmm.
in September, so we should know about that.
Yeah.
And we should hopefully have some information about repair work soon, as far as scheduling, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. And you guys are in the loop on all of that, Chad's keeping you?
I think so. I heard talk to him last week.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, if we hear anything, we'll make sure that
Yeah.
you're in the loop, and
Okay.
Rebecca will get you that building energy report.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, if I had one thing, you know,
Yeah.
if the communication will, it could be better.
Yes,
You know, in terms of time, between both, in both directions, but I think
yeah,
it's important if we keep talking all the time, there is something, or otherwise it's kind of, sometimes, you know, we're at the last minute,
Yes.
not sure what the board is doing, and then so it would be
I agree.
a very good thing
And I apologize for our role in the last minute nature of the painting.
to. No, especially if now, you know, with the plan
Yeah.
improvement,
Maintenance,
this would be
yeah, contract.
Yeah,
special.
Yeah, I
think
mean, we like
that's
the
good.
idea of, you know, somebody overseeing the work, so,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be nice to have sort of a third set of eyes, what needs doing and how we need to do it and
Yeah.
what the timeline looks like. And of course, there's been a lot of turnover in our board, so we're developing new relationships,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
that's good.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
it's always something, you know, but it's important to just
yeah, absolutely.
be aware of that, because it works better, I think.
It does, it does. Thank you for saying so. Yeah. Okay,
All right,
good.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in, and this is really helpful. Thank you for this.
sure.
This
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
I think if I could see one other thing, it would sort of be, what is the balance of the account and what is it planned to go toward?
The balance of which account?
Your account toward maintenance and improvements. Is that, I don't think I see
Well,
it.
we don't really have a balance, an account, I mean, we've overpaid what we've taken in for rent. So we have bank accounts, you know, for the various projects we have,
Right,
but, you know, we're paying, we figure we're paying forward now. Because this is, you know, painting the building is a big investment and should be good for hopefully 20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe less, but,
I'm
we're-
not sure I understand, I'm sorry, I don't understand,
We're
John.
basically 50 grand ahead of the rent as of December.
Where do I see
Ahead
that?
in terms of,
In terms of the
Which
rent
direction?
taken in for the building,
you've taken, looks like you've taken in 152,000
that's right. That's right.
and you've spent 205,000?
Yeah.
Right, so we're about 50
That's
grand
not really
ahead.
ahead. Is it ahead
Well,
or behind?
you know, I assume the town, if I was representing the town, I would want to make sure that, you know, all the rent that the building is generating from commercial activity
Yeah,
is going toward the building maintenance.
I see. I
yes,
see what you're saying. Okay.
So
You've invested that.
we've invested that
Clearly,
and then
yeah,
some.
yeah, yeah.
And so we're 50, and now we're putting
Right.
another
That's what I
65 in.
Right.
So we don't really have a, you know, a fund that's labeled strictly for the building.
Yeah.
But we do have, I mean, our books are public, so if you want, I can send you bank statements if you want. You know, we make money from the fuel group.
okay,
which
so
we
that's
use for the
basically,
building.
yeah, the balance of
Yeah.
how you're paying. I'm
That's
I'm
right.
like,
That's
wait,
what I
so
was trying
how are you paying for this?
That's right.
Well, the income is coming from the rent
Right.
Yeah.
and the fuel group essentially.
Right.
The fuel group.
Then there are also donations, but
Okay, and
But
do
the
you
income's not-
earmark a percentage of what you're taking in for maintenance on the building? Or do you just do it
No.
as it comes?
We just do it as it
Yeah.
comes.
So the capital plan will help with that.
Yes.
We'll help with
Yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
But the income from the fuel group is not in this.
No, it's
I-
not.
I- okay.
That's
I
right. That's
think
just
so.
the
This is just the
commercial
market.
rent, right, from renting.
What's
the building.
EMCM?
East Orange
East-
Community.
Yeah. The UCO.
EMCM? Okay.
EWCM, maybe I did a typo.
Okay, it said schoolhouse
well-
markets and then it said EMCM starts and I'm like, well,
Oh, yeah, it should be
Gotcha.
EWCM.
okay.
the account is only one essentially. We
There
don't
is
have like
Everything
capital
goes,
allocation for capital improvement or things like that. We just go
Right.
but so planning
Which-
would be pretty.
yeah.
Would be great, yeah. So if we can have KMK help us
Yeah.
build this capital improvement
Yeah.
plan, then we can sort of put budgets toward what we
Yeah.
expect expenditures to be over the next 5,
I mean,
10.
we have the other, that probably were not included here, all the common expenses, you know, maintenance,
Yeah.
mowing the lawn and all that
yeah,
stuff.
right, yeah. Yeah,
Okay, Well, I mean,
I saw that
I think
one,
it would be interesting for us to know what you are spending on maintenance and lawn mowing, et cetera, and
Yeah, I think that's on here.
It's on here, yeah.
Yeah. Lawn
every
mowing.
2023. Oh, okay.
Repairs,
Yeah.
Annually,
Yeah.
yep, sorry. I see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if I put the insurance in there, I may not have done that.
Oh,
That's-
and you have repairs with maintenance and mowing.
Mhm.
But minor repairs, I assume that just means minor.
Yeah.
Well, it depends, because sometimes.
Sometimes they're bigger than
Yeah,
others.
I
What I
mean,
mean.
we went for, several years with hardly any, major expenses, and then suddenly they all came.
Right, like 2017 and 2018, repairs, maintenance and mowing are in the 1,400,
Yeah,
Yeah,
1,600, and then they jump
yes.
yeah, we had everything happen at once.
to 6. And
When things start breaking down, it's the one after the other. you know.
yeah, and you fix something and it causes pressure somewhere else.
Yeah,
and
the Gremlins.
This old
Your
building.
bank account knows when you have money to spend, right?
Yeah.
This is great though. Do you have these in a way that you can email them to Rebecca?
Oh, yeah, sure.
That would be great, because
Yeah.
then we'll just add them into your folder. That would
Yeah.
be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you guys for making time to
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
It's nice
Yeah.
to spend FaceTime together and we can chat about roof things and
Yeah, yeah, and we appreciate all the work you guys do and
things.
the stuff you put toward the building too. It's made it all possible, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really a different place there now.
Yeah.
It is.
Nice
It
to
is.
see it
Yeah.
still standing.
It's great.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
it is.
even better.
Paint will help,
Yeah,
yeah. That'd be nice.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good evening. Good night.
Have a good evening.
Going to, because Misha sent
Hi, Nisha.
Hey Devin.
You're next.
Jeff, come on over. I'd like for you all to meet Jeff, our new implementation coordinator.
Oh,
Rebecca, can
Jeff.
can I sit next to
I
you?
didn't realize. Even with your little picture. We met Jeff at one of the town garage donuts and coffee
Yeah, I'm getting it right now.
situations. Nice. Thanks for joining.
You want?
How are we doing?
How are we doing?
We're doing good.
We're trying something different since we've learned that we're working on behalf of all the towns, that every time grant application comes along, we could actually, so last year we applied on your behalf for this bike ped grant, so we're trying to apply this year on your behalf, on Waitsfield's behalf, and on Moortown/Middlesex behalf, and see what happens, because they said you can't, because we're totally different towns, same project. So we are
So you have 3 grant applications
All at the
in
same
for the
time.
same grant funding.
for the same funding, but it only increases our chances of building active transportation corridor.
Right, of
because-
getting one of the
Right.
3.
Yeah. So, we have an update for you, update and the ask. So, Rebecca, would you just scroll down to the next slide?
Actually, me.
You will?
I'm gonna run
Thank you.
this
So,
here.
is Jeff, Jeff, do you want to say anything to this wonderful group of people?
Well, this is an exciting opportunity. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to work with you and the other towns to work on, completing the path. I just think it'll be great when it's done. It's going to take a little while, but we'll get there.
Yeah. And Jeff, sorry, introductions. Harvey Blake,
Hi,
Jeff?
Harvey,
Joel Campbell,
Joel.
sorry, Joel Taplin. I don't know where that came from. Camilla Bain, I'm Devin, and Rebecca, our town administrator. She's the Campbell.
I'm the Campbell.
My apologies.
We would take you, Joel, though, if you wanted to be.
Oh, gosh.
Jeff, we're fortunate to have Jeff, who has been an engineer working on this exact kind of infrastructure project most of his career, and it just happened to be that he moved to the valley and he wants to see the path happen. So we wouldn't have been able to find someone like this if it wasn't just serendipitous that he is here, and he is excited to help us. But he speaks the language of V-Trans, which is really what we need to move forward. So
Awesome.
I think we are a strong team together. And planning district is back and helping us. I think they got excited when Jeff came on board. They said, hey, we'd like to, so that's good. I'm just going to give you cursory updates on what's happening. Big news for us, for the Medriver Path, that we are officially joining together with Mad River Riders to become one organization. It's going to be called Mad River Trails Alliance, or MRTA. That is going to come into effect in the fall. And then comes the new year. We will have a full-time stewardship coordinator. So Mad River Riders currently have a trail crew that works half a year and a trail crew chief. And so the new organization will have trail crew chief who for half a year will be focused on working with the trail crew just like they're doing now, except that they're going to incorporate Mad River Path into it. For the other half a year, the trail crew chief will focus on trail grants, trail signage, all things trails, trail easements, landowner relations, all the things that need to happen for what is going to be one of the largest trail networks in the state when you put all our trails together and think about them as one system.
Wow.
And the main impetus for this is really to bring all our users together and say we are all stewards for trails, whether you're a biker, whether you're a dog walker, whatever you do, we're all stewards, and let's not have user conflicts, but let's yield to each other and let's see each other and take care of everyone's needs.
Is that a
of the
new
land.
position?
There's going to be a new position that will happen as a result of two organizations coming together. So
that'll be an additional ask.
there will be no asks for that position. That position is not going to be funded municipally in any way. There's going to be like the two, so they have a position, they have a seasonal half-time, like full-time, half the year position already, and by us coming together as two organizations, we have a plan on how we're going to grow to be able to have that position grow into a full-time year-round position. So it will be a team of 2 people full-time. And consider that now we have Abby, who is a AmeriCorps service member first for the whole year, which that position costs us nothing. It's an amazing gift from the federal government, and $10,000 a year. We have a full-time amazing college graduate who is just working for the communities. So we're definitely able to accomplish way more than I was when I first came here 3 years ago. So we are working on the Mad River Path Mapping Guide from Warren to Waitsfield. It's going to be ready not in the beginning of the season, but it's going to be ready in a month. It's going to be published, so it's going to be a little like a scary map. It'll say, here, start at Brooks Field, follow the path, follow the road, follow the path, follow the road, stop at Warren's store, stop and swim, and it will just be like a guided, curated tour from Warren to Waitsfield. So tell people we're not finished, but you can still have fun doing this by bike. Okay, thank you. We have made some progress. So this is this Warren to Waitsfield. A little bit hard to see, but there are changes since we last talked that are worth pointing out, and maybe, thank you for that, Devin. So all is the same. If we start at Brooks Field and get across the road and follow Westfield Road and Ellen Lane and build that first mile.
So we're starting at 1 there? Is that
Starting
where you're
at 1, now we're at 2.
Here.
We'll be talking in a minute about reapplying for that mile 2 from Ellen Lane to Riverside Park. Then we are on Kingsbury Greenway. I'll talk about Kingsbury Greenway in a minute. Then we are on Cloudwater Farm Path, Yestermore Path, and an advancement that we made. We were able to get permissions. There's a missing link between Yestermore and Madbush Falls. We now have connectivity all the way to Madbush Falls.
Through here, right, Misha?
Yep, just like that. And
From a private landowner?
Yep, private landowner. We have a path easement through Waitsfield 10. So the yellow dotted line, we are working with the landowner to get permission to get to the bottom of Kingsbury Road.
So that yellow exists now, or that?
The yellow exists. The yellow dotted line doesn't exist.
Gotcha.
That's how the Mad River Triathlon ran. we got permission to run the triathlon that way. It was like a test run. And they enjoyed seeing that, and so there's a good chance we've been working on this. And if we do that, then we have connectivity to Kingsbury Road. So then the next red line, so red lines are our right of way. That's what's left for right of way. So if this is all to become true, then we have just 2 miles off building path and right of way, and then we are at LaRoe, and then we are at Austin Walk. And we did get the $600,000 grant, transportation alternative grant, to build a bridge across Millbrook and connect to downtown path. So this grants, like, there's good news, right? They're not unattainable, they're attainable. If we just work hard enough. So that's.
And then you're into the village.
Then we're in the village,
and all
and we
this
have
exists.
connection all the way through Waitsfield. Yeah. So that's an update. Like a big picture. We've made, like, I know that little path connecting Yestermorrow and Medbush Falls, like, it's a small distance, but it's a big win because it's a connectivity. Okay, we can scroll down. So this summer we are redeveloping Kingsbury Greenway, and we are doing this through community fundraising. So far we have not. We've been doing it in the silent phase, just going to people one at a time. We've raised half of needed roughly $75,000. We've raised that money. We have a fundraising event tomorrow. Hopefully we will get very close. We want to get very close before we do Mihiron style, fundraiser. So what we have gotten permissions from the town in terms of checking in with you, with Rebecca and your zoning administrator and the Conservation Commission. This is just to give you an update of what's going to happen. We're going to do some of the restoration of the riverbank because we're about to lose Claybrook Bridge. I don't know if any of you have been there recently, but the Claybrook Bridge was built. It was the river from high bank to high bank was 45 feet. Right now it's 75 feet. And we're about to lose the bridge, so this is like not a wish project, it has to be done.
Yeah, we're about to lose, oh.
We're about to lose the
About to
embankment.
wash away.
Yeah, it's about to go into the river. So we tried in the beginning, we tried to get
this one right here.
yeah, the ecological restoration of that bank, and we tried to get Ben Canonica come and he gave us an assessment, and it's like they would eat up all our budget. The entire budget to use trees with root systems to strip the whole bank over a long time. We talked about it with Friends of the Mad River. They are lukewarm, interested in like long-term looking into it and getting some grant money from their sources, but we need to save the bridge. So all we can afford to do right now is get a river alteration permit and put stone at the place so we can secure the abutment on the south side. Once we do that, we will resurface the bridge because the decking is rotting, and we will do it in a different way. We'll hopefully be able to do it with locust wood rather than pressure trees, so it doesn't get slippery, and that'll be done with volunteers. Then on both sides of the bridge, we're going to improve the path to what we talked about a little bit, adaptive standards. So it's not going to be 12 foot wide, there's no room for 12 foot wide, but it will be 4 to 6 feet wide, depending on what space allows, but it's going to be surface, so it's going to be smooth, no roots and rocks. It will have all the erosion control measures, and one will be able to learn how to bike on it or go in a wheelchair on it. The ramps will change to and from the bridge, and we got an easement from Warren Lodge, so instead of going along the river and up the stairs, which is still going to be an option, but the main path is going to go up gradually to the driveway of Warren Lodge, in front of Warren Lodge, back into the woods on the grade, so you could bike on it or you could push the wheelchair or a stroller without having to negotiate the stairs.
So it's gonna go through that field that's beyond Warren
Yep,
Lodge?
through the field. It's going to go on the
bridge?
outside edge of the field to avoid the septic that's in the middle of the field. Yeah, exactly, like you're saying, Camilla.
That's this.
That's this reroute, yep.
For the path will go here.
And then.
This
coming-
is the existing path, right? It meets up here?
Yep, it meets up there, exactly. Coming to the bridge, to the Kingsbury Bridge, there's graffiti under the bridge. Med River Arts will put a mural on that wall. Hopefully it will discourage vandalism. And then from there, hopefully we'll have enough money to improve and replace that large crushed stone that's not good for hardly any movement with a smooth surface all the way to Wabanaki parking lot. From there, we're talking with V-Trans about demonstration project with seasonal bollards to be able to cross Kingsbury Bridge. If we are allowed to do that, that will put us, it will be one lane, 5-foot wide lane with bollards, and it will be signs, dismount and walk, too narrow for 2 people to get by, but then you'll be able to, instead of crossing the road twice, you could do a quick turnaround, come back up, walk across the road and hop right on the Cloudwater Farm path. So it'll be continuity. We just had a meeting with V-Trans today, and we will be applying for that. It has to be first done as like a 2-week demonstration. So we're applying for that right now. Too early to say what happens. Thank you. Okay, so we are preparing to resubmit your application. This is the June 12th deadline. Last year you have committed $400,000 as a local match. This wasn't funded. We scored in the top 50. We need to score in the top 10. We met with them. They gave us 2 pieces of feedback. Number 1, they said you need to do a demonstration study for this Vermont 100 crossing. You need to show us that you're seriously working on it. It's not going to happen. And second, said demonstrate economic viability of the Warren-Waitsfield connection. Why is this important? So we have now an economic study work group. Brian Littmans and Aaron Rose, volunteers, experts in this area. They're preparing economic impact statement for this grant application. A demonstration project, we applied for CVRPC grant to do this demonstration project. It's a small grant, but we didn't get it. So this is kind of conversation to have with you. It seems that in order for us to get $1 million from them, we need to spend some money. And it's a question whether or not the town has any way of funding this project. Because where we're at is we contacted Local Motion. I'm sorry for a grammatical mistake. They're willing to work with us. We met with V-Trans District 6 manager, Greg Smith. We waited for this for a long time until they gave us light of day. They said, if you get an 1111 permit, great. We will give you a permit if the demonstration project coordinator will okay. So we met with the demonstration projects coordinator. We received guidance on how to apply. So we're moving along. We have approximate cost of this. So Local Motion said they would need $7,000 for all different setups. We've never done one before. I don't know. I can't say like what does it mean. It seems like it's a fake crossing of Route 100 that is there for 2 weeks. And during those 2 weeks, we will say, select board, kids from school, everybody, come and cross at a certain time. We're going to film you. We're going to count how many of you cross. They need to, and like say, well, this is a busy crossing, something like this. They're very upfront. They themselves have a hard time articulating why you need to do them. They're saying that's kind of what we need to do before.
I can understand why they need to do it, I just don't understand how you actually.
Yep, I don't either. But
It's a little bit, it feels like a little bit of cart before the horse, because the crossing isn't busy until the trail is there to be busy.
Exactly, you have to make it busy.
But they don't want you to create it and then have a problem.
Right.
So they're
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
what does that look like?
What would it look like? But typically we do that on a set of engineering plans, which has been done. Loosely with the,
I'm gonna drop a sketch of this. We'll go over it with V-Trans. They will approve it. And then Local Motion will put it in place. And it's gonna be temporary, so it's gonna use paint that can be eradicated. It's gonna use cones or delineators that can be moved after the fact. So we'll put it up for a period of time and we'll show that it's safe and one can successfully cross the road there. and try and get, people to do it, so we show that it's useful and it gets used.
Straight out like a public communications campaign, please come and cross.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the crossing does get used. I see people, because the house there is
Correct.
occupied by people who work for Warren's who are on the pitch rent, so. a number
So just
of
so we're
people
clear,
do
this is the Main Street to
Ellen
West
Lane.
Hill,
Yeah.
plus
Yes.
100.
Yeah.
You know,
North Main.
so basically they're saying, if you want us to give you a grant to go from the end of Allen Lane to Riverside Park,
Yeah.
you need to show us that you actually can get across Route
People can
100.
get there.
Because why would we fund that if we
Right.
don't know if people can get
Right.
there? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what their logic is.
And I don't know if this is the right time for it, but my question was, this phase that you're talking about is, and the project is called Ellen Lane to Riverside, but there's a supposition there that you've already
Gotten from
Got-
Brooksfield.
got from Brooksfield right to to the end of Ellen Lane, and I assume you're talking about going up the West Hill Road and
Yeah.
across Ellen Lane?
So in the
it's still riding on the road.
scoping study said, this is low-hanging fruit. These are scenic country roads. All we need to do is paint bike lanes on them and direct people. They have low traffic, they have low grade. It's about the only way we can avoid that constriction. If we turn right from Main Street on Route 100, we can't, there's a ledge on one side
Yeah.
and river on the other side.
So that's a interesting intersection right there at the bottom of West Hill, Ellen Lane. It can be dangerous with cars coming down and trying to get onto that bridge. I would not
For sure.
encourage lots of traffic there.
They just haven't, during scoping study, they haven't found another solution.
Yeah,
If we have a local
I'm just saying it's
solution
a problem.
that we can
don't have a
find.
solution for that,
So if
I-
we're trying to get people to Warren and from Warren by foot and by bike, how else? Maybe if we have another local idea for this, but during scoping study, that was the only idea that we all came up with.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you need a stop sign on West Hill, right? Because you come down the hill,
Right.
and you make that
Go sweep
right.
around that.
I mean, it's tight if somebody's coming the other way.
Well, there should be a stop sign. There's a stop condition at both West Hill and Main Street. There's no,
We're talking
There's
about
no-
the stop at West Hill meeting Ellen Lane.
oh,
Which
West Hill meeting
continue.
Ellen Lane?
Yeah, where the
Well,
And
bridge.
this has been something that we've all been talking about because
Yeah.
Ellen Lane is problematic when you're
Yeah.
pulling out of it, going onto Route 100, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that there is a potential benefit to including a path through that access because it brings eyes. It says, hey, we need to focus on this. This needs to be improved, and it also gives us more clout with V-Trans to say we need to lower the speed limit on 100 here. This isn't safe, and here are the reasons why.
Yeah, but the piece we're talking about is not the Route 100 piece, because my understanding is if you go up West Hill and onto Ellen Lane the way you're proposing, you're not actually pulling on Route 100 for the path. The path will stay on that side of the road.
Correct.
But we need to cross from Main Street, we need
Right.
to cross to
Oh, I
to West
understand
Hill
that
Road.
piece.
That's what
I'm more
okay.
concerned about the
Yeah.
West Hill Ellen Lane
Understand.
intersection
Yes, yes.
at the
Yeah.
bottom of West Hill Road. I think that's a
Yeah.
problem on that bridge.
So I think that the way I would approach this, if we get funded, or when, not if, when we get funded for the first mile, Ellen Lane to Riverside Park, we know we have 4 years from the moment of funding to construction. These are years when we need to figure out how we're gonna do the striping and how you want to handle from Brook Road to that crossing in Ellen Lane, West Hill Road, because that could be done via small type, because they have a small scale grant, that's a 50% matching funds, like a $75,000 grants, those are easier to get. But it's too early to talk about it now. I'm sorry if I lost you.
Sorry, no, you didn't lose me. I guess for me, that's cart before the horse. You're investing. I think you're going to ask us for the match again to commit funds to create a path from Ellen Lane to Riverside, but we haven't figured out how you're getting to Ellen Lane.
Well, the scoping study,
saying, well, we'll figure that out later.
well, it is figured out. The scoping study said from the intersection of the path and Brook Road, stripe a bike lane down to Main Street and up to Main Street, cross Vermont 100, put a bike lane on Allen Lane, West Hill Road, begin the path.
And I'm saying I'm not comfortable with that. That doesn't sound like a good solution as it sits right now.
Sure, well,
Expressing my concern.
yep. Thank you for that. I hear that.
Well, it is, I mean, that's a tricky turn, the way it is now. Having pedestrians in there would be scary.
Yeah.
But that's an opportunity to figure it out.
So, in order for us to have successful application to reapply for this grant, we need to tell them that we are in doing this study, that this is happening. We have the application to V-Trans for the demonstration study. We have all the pieces figured out. We just don't have this $10,000 that will be needed for that study. That's kind of, without this we can apply, but we for sure not gonna get the money. With it, we don't know. We never know, but we're increasing our chances to get up in this percentage. So
It
that's,
sounds like you guys have been pretty successful at raising funds, like for the Kingsbury Greenway. It sounds like you've had some luck raising money
we
for that.
raised, right now we raised a little over 30,000 out of $75,000, so it's semi-successful. But this is as much as we could raise, right? This year, if we are able to raise money and complete that project, which is going to be a demonstration, half a mile of completed path where everybody could come and see, okay, this is what it's all going to look like. It would be a great success for us if we could pull that off.
So you're asking if we're able to fund this $10,000?
Yeah, and I don't know if you are, and I don't know if you want to take it out of the local match, because I'm sorry to be asking you guys, I just don't know right now. I can't take it out of the budget because we're stretching to do what we're doing. So without doing this, we can't really apply for this $1 million grant, or without saying that we're doing this and then following up with doing it. If we didn't get the grant, I guess we don't have to do it, but still, if we do it, next year we could say, we did it, here's the results.
So wait, hang on, you just said something that I would like clarity on. Does it need to be, it doesn't need to be done before you apply for the
We
grant?
don't really know. They said we're taking our chances. We're increasing our chances of getting funded, even if we say we're doing this demonstration study, we have applied for permit, we have applied, here's all our evidence that we're serious about it.
So what does that do, when you say if we take it out of the match, meaning we would be recommitting to $400,000 as our local match for the grant for that segment, but if you were to use 10,000 of it for this demonstration project, then we're really only committing 390,000? Or are you asking for 410?
What I'm asking is, I'm asking for you guys to be our partners in this, because many things of this, there's no way of knowing, right? Remember that we are guessing that this first mile is going to cost X amount of dollars based on very cursory scoping study where they just threw down a high number. V-Trans themselves, when they look at that number, they say, that's a lot, that's very high. Why is it? Remember how we were all looking at this $2.5 million? They did the same thing.
I mean, we can take a look at the budget and see what, we're talking about budget next. And see where,
Yeah, I'm just asking you
have
to
some
be
room.
our partners in this, and our thought partners, because if, we did everything we can. We applied for another grant to get this, but we didn't get it. So now do we wait a whole other year because we didn't get $10,000 grant? That's kind of sad, because we have this once a year opportunity to apply for this $1 million, and we should be doing this every time. I think we should be doing it every time, then we're gonna get it 1 year. So that's,
when do you need to know by?
the application deadline is June 12th. So Jeff and Franny are working. They're starting to put it together. There's a lot of pieces. So but I know that sometimes you guys say, I ask you about things and don't give you time to think about it. I appreciate that too. This is like, this just like we didn't even know again whether they're gonna open this or not. They opened it, gave us 2 months to complete the application. This was right in the middle when we were hiring Jeff. As soon as he came on board, you started working on this. This was your next board meeting since that time, so.
Well, and we do have, it looks like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Before your
Yeah.
application is due.
Yeah, and
Okay. 2 weeks and a couple days.
the most important thing for me is to work together with you and make sure we're all on the same page, working towards the same goal.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good point that Harvey makes. We have a Q1 budget review that we're a little late on starting on here. So why don't we dig into that and talk about it at a board level and see if we can find the funding.
Great.
Does that work? And give you an answer sometime after this meeting, and probably, unless we need to continue the conversation on the 9th.
So you're asking for two things though, because you are still asking for us to commit.
Recommit,
Yeah.
whether, because it's been a year, are you on board to recommit so we can reapply? Then it'll be simple. We have the letter on file. Rebecca just changes the date on that letter. And the second one, if you could find a way to fund this demonstration study that has to be part of the grant to be successful, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the budget next, so
Okay,
we can see what we can find.
awesome. Thank you.
Misha.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jeff. Nice to put the
nice to
face
meet
to
you.
the name in
Yes.
the position
Thank
this
you.
time.
And welcome.
Thank you. And welcome. Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right.
I made copies for everyone.
You can stop sharing.
Yep.
I'll pass them out. I like it. Thank you, Pat.
You are.
This budget now.
I'm sharing this one now.
I don't know if Patty's done a bunch of stuff, so.
I'll have
Have you changed things
We have
from
new stuff.
magnifying glasses?
It's just expanding it.
New stuff.
So whatever Rebecca had to share from earlier today
It's
We can do
changed.
has
next.
changed.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm not gonna share that screen. That's all I'm asking.
Yes, don't share.
Just don't share it.
We can still go through this, but I would say we should do it next, the detail budget.
Okay,
But
I am ready to be walked through whatever we're walking through here. Yes, please.
So Patty put this together, and I think it's super helpful. What it is 12 months.
Okay, we're looking at the one you just handed us.
What have we got?
This little
Look
one.
at the lined one.
So basically,
Okay.
it started because of what's in the checking account presently, and we owe the state our next payment by next Monday.
Okay,
So I put together, approximately what's in the bank account, what we owe them, what will be left, and then I was kind of breaking down by month the revenue that we've taken in January through May of this year, and then I brought in June through December of last year, just to give an idea, and expenses as well.
So it's
me one of those?
it's a rolling
Can you
budget.
print me one of those?
I handed it to you.
I stole it.
Oh,
It
no.
was me.
Thank you.
So it's essentially a rolling budget, which I think is excellent. So I think relatively consistent with last year, we run out of money from the taxes collected last year, right around June 1st, when we pay the state $6 million, $6.3 million, which is due June 1st.
Yep.
So then last year we borrowed in July. We're running at roughly $300,000 a month, give or take.
Expenses.
Yeah, so for the purposes of analyzing our cash flow, if we assume our budget is $300,000 a month, which adds up to $3.6 million, which is basically the budget that was approved, not including capital account, that gives us kind of boundaries to think through. The expenditures are pretty consistent. What's here is the actual expenditures for 26 and then what they were for 25, and then each month that occurs in 26 you swap out 25, but you can see what last year's cyclically were. The only thing I would say is in November the expenses are elevated because it includes the 1.1 million for the payment to the capital account, so you should back that out for municipal expenses, non-capital. But yeah,
When
so,
you say you should back that out, you're suggesting Patty
oh, we'll back it up for the next time.
change that?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and, sorry,
Just as we
I'm
think
just
through
trying
it.
to follow. 'cause,
You should
like,
back it out in your
this is-
head.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hang on, I'm backing out in my head. So that's November 25, it's at 1.4, call it, you're saying take
Yeah.
1.1 out of there,
Yeah.
and you're left
So
with the
it's 3.
300,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you run it basically 3. It looks like October last year was a big month and May is a low month, but that's just kind of the cyclical nature of things. But the first point that Patty's making here is consistent with last year. We're going to run out of money on June 1st when we pay the state 6.3 million. So what we did last year is we borrowed roughly 300,000 a month for June and July and started collecting taxes in July, and then everything was fine. And what's interesting here on the revenue column is you can see when the tax money came in. So the grace period going to November really concentrates all our tax money in November, and we end up borrowing money until then, which isn't the best, but
Well, the tax bill's also going out a little bit later, so
Yeah.
it's kind
Right,
of
this
pushing
year. Correct.
everything
Yep.
right.
a little bit.
so that is why Patty got the TAN, which is $1 million. The tax anticipation note, and that's also why we've moved the capital accounts to Northfield, or we're moving. We started
We
moving.
moved 1.5 million from TD into Northfield, because obviously we talked to the bank, as you know, we got a great interest rate, so we're moving
Yeah.
everything over.
Yeah.
So we presently have 1.5 from TD over in Northfield as we speak.
So we have $1 million of the TAN to borrow, so that's 3 months float, basically. And then we have $1.5 million now in Northfield that's being held for capital, earning 3.1%. But we can borrow that money
From ourselves.
from ourselves and pay ourselves interest.
And we have more to bring over. Rebecca and I, we have more for TD to bring over.
So that's, can I get a clarification on the capital piece? Because we've been having other conversations in other committees about, in March, we approved budgets for different, groups for capital expenditures, right? And the way it's done in the past and what we have on here is that money is kind of put into those accounts in November. What if you need to spend that
borrow.
money? In other words, the cemetery commission needs the money in August. We don't have to wait until November. It's been allocated, but the town will have to borrow it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they can make requests for it.
Yeah.
They have access to it. It's
Yeah.
just that it has to
Yeah.
be borrowed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it's the same
It's a
same with the
clarification.
general account.
Yeah.
To the extent the general account runs out of cash, it will borrow
Yeah.
from the other
Yeah,
funds. It's
yeah, I
due to,
get
due
that.
from.
It's just sort of
Yeah.
the commissions and that kind of thing are sort of.
No,
like,
it's
whoa,
understandable. It's a little
money.
confusing.
Yeah, okay.
And so historically, we transfer those funds in November because taxes have been
Because
paid.
that's when we get,
That's when you
then
get
we
all
borrow the
taxes,
least
yeah.
amount of money.
Right.
Yeah. Now,
Can wait.
I think last year we stopped borrowing probably in August, I'm guessing. But this year, the tax bills aren't going to go out until August. So there will be another month of borrowing. So the TAN might not be enough.
Right.
Hence the capital.
And correct me
accounts.
if I go astray, but the TAN's probably not going to be enough.
I don't think so.
And so that's why we should continue moving all the money over
Yeah.
from TD. We just have to wait till the check's clear.
Yeah.
But then we'll have 3.2 million, it looks like, based on the other
Where's
report.
I think we have about 1.7 left in TD right
Yeah.
now after bringing the 1.5 over.
Yeah, so 1.5 is in Northfield now.
Where are we looking right now?
We have the bank balances
Yeah.
Bank balance report,
as of today.
balance report.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's the.
Large font, larger font.
Larger font.
Do you have it?
I have it.
So yeah, there's still $1.7 million in TD. When all the checks clear, we can move that completely to Northfield.
Right. I think we're looking at this one.
So then there's
Give us about
3.2 there.
3.2.
Some of that will, of course, get spent.
Yeah. Yep.
But that will be available for due to, due froms until the town can pay the
Yep.
capital account back.
And if we have to make capital expenditures out of that, we'll borrow it from the town and hope that this,
Well, see, the 3.2 is all one account.
Yeah.
They're just accounting
Understood.
entries that separated out.
Right.
So you
right, so we
essentially
have a
are
total
borrowing from the other capital
4.2
accounts.
million
Exactly.
in slush funds to get us.
No, don't say that, please.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what do we call it?
4.2 million in funds
In
that the town
funds.
has
Yep,
that it
To-
can access with due to due froms,
Yeah.
borrowing within the town
yep,
to streamline and limit the amount of borrowing the town needs to do.
okay,
To make up for cash flow differences between when we collect taxes, which is almost completely in November,
yeah,
versus when we have to make all the payments.
okay.
So I will also update you and tell you that today I submitted a requisition to the bond bank. So roughly 315,000 is reimbursable because it's money that we took out of the capital account, or it was ARPA expenses to pay for Lehman Lamphere's. And that was, we signed a bond, in some of that paperwork, all of that money is reimbursable to the town. And then I also asked for an advance of 2 million because pretty soon we'll have a $300,000 bill to pay REARC. So we will have we'll have 300,000 to put back into the capital because we're paying some of that money back to the capital account that we borrowed from.
Means we get 3.5 million internally and 1 million with the town.
Well, there are still some checks that might clear too, right? For capital, or is that all done?
I think they might, most of them have cleared.
Most of them,
They're all
we
clear.
just sent some out last week, so they may not.
Yeah, there might be a
For
few.
sidewalks
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
probably not the full 3.5, but
approximately,
yeah. Over 3 anyway.
Yeah, okay. So the tan is really important.
Yeah, so this just kind of lays out for the first budget
this is
review, what does the cash in look like?
Right.
It's very cyclical, highly concentrated in November. What is our municipal expense run rate? 270 to 300 a month, roughly the same as last year. What has it actually been, which is your third column there, which you can see it's plus or minus 300,000. January was plus 28, February is minus 17, March is plus 7. Oh, I said that backwards actually. January was 28 less than 300, February was 17 more.
Right.
March was 7 less, April was 71,000 less, and then
These are the expenses we're talking about, right?
this is just purely expenses.
Yeah.
And then the May, which isn't complete yet, is currently at 161,000 less than budget. So the expenses at a high level, without getting into the detail, look reasonable and consistent with what we would expect. Then it's really just around cash flow planning to make the payments. If you go all the way to the right, I think it's super helpful to lay out the timing and amounts of the checks to the Washington Union, Harwood School District, and then to the state. You can say we paid 12.7 million to the state, concentrated in June 1st and November, 2 payments. And then we make 3 payments to Harwood, Washington Union, 1.7 each for 5-ish.
And those are projected for this
Those
coming
are
year.
the ones
That was
those are the ones
actual.
we actually paid.
This is
Um,
actual, okay,
yeah.
last year.
But except for the
So-
6.3, I haven't paid yet for June of 26, but that is the number that we're paying.
And, sorry, can you tell me what the actual paid minus taxes to state and school?
The actual pay are the expenses that we paid, which doesn't include
Oh,
taxes.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So just the municipal expenses.
Right, revenue, okay.
For the next draft, we'll back out the capital too, so then it's just purely expenses, so.
Right.
I mean, from my perspective, I feel pretty good about the run rate at the highest level. I think running out of money for the June 1st payment is consistent
Yep.
with what's
Ever
happened in
since
the
I've been
past.
on the board.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, there you go. And I feel very good about our borrowing capabilities now. I think it's very efficient how we're borrowing.
From ourselves.
Well, the TAN is very efficient, and borrowing from ourselves is the most efficient.
I think the borrowing from ourselves is something we haven't done. I do remember one year where we didn't have to use the TAN. I don't think it was last year, but the year before, yeah.
I think
It's nice
we're,
to have in the back pocket.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
I
you know,
totally agree.
we talked about, you know, not using that unless we absolutely had to, just because it has a higher interest.
Well,
Um,
this feels
We're
really,
really pushing hard, as you see on Julie's post, to really start people making monthly
Encouraging
payments.
them.
that's what I was just gonna say.
Like someone came to the office and said, hey, can I make early payments towards my taxes? I'm like,
Please.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Make that happen.
That's something that has sort of been missing from the conversation around when we bill and when they're due and how we pay. And I know that like Waitsfield has them due, I don't know if it's quarterly or
Is it quarterly?
twice or whatever it is. It's an interesting conversation because it may help alleviate some of the need to borrow money if we were to organize that differently.
Yeah.
I will be sending an email to everyone who now has a monthly and quarterly ACH once the taxes bill go out to pay. Obviously, do they want to adjust, increase or down? But to encourage other people,
Right.
you want to start this monthly and quarterly ACH payments towards your future taxes
Yeah.
to keep the cash flow going.
Right, great. Perry, you had?
Yeah, I remember asking like 10 years ago, you know, why?
I wasn't here.
What was the answer?
Yeah, what did you find out?
There didn't seem to be any interest whatsoever. But why is the tax bill comes out in July, it's due in August, but it's not late until November? And you know, so then I always thought about, well, why not, if we'd done it 10 years ago, just make it, instead of November 15th, I think it is, you know, because it's not late until you get nailed, you know, with a late fee. You know, is kind of probably everybody's attitude. So if you move the date from November 15th to November 1st, and then you move the next year, you move it to October 15th, and then you moved it to, you know, October 1st, and you just move it back 2 weeks or even 1 week, and then in 5 years or 10 years, maybe it'll be closer to where you don't have to borrow the money. And then the other thought would be, what's the interest rate when you borrow the money?
Right.
If it was 3%, give people a little incentive of 1%. You know, if you pay early, well, or on time, August 15th, you know, you get maybe a 1% fee, which I don't know, you know, but.
I mean, what is it to go to the town and say, can we have quarterly payments or twice a year instead of the once a year, like Waitsfield does? And that keeps the cash flow moving as well.
Consistent,
And I think to Perry's point is like, let's not do it all at once,
Right.
because I think we'll have a pretty
'cause then
large
you're gonna get a
reaction.
revolt,
And I wonder, I mean, I'm just thinking through why you asked like August and November. My first thought is agricultural community. Let everybody make money through the agricultural season so they can pay their taxes. I think that may be the origination of like, why aren't they due until
Kinda like
November?
daylight saving.
It's a bit different now, right?
Right.
And things are totally different. But I do think that there's value in giving people enough time to, you know, put aside money, given the fact that taxes change each year and sometimes they increase drastically.
Right.
And so I think we need to be sensitive to those kinds of
I
considerations.
wouldn't do it the reappraisal year.
Yeah,
think
right.
so.
I don't want to do it this year.
No.
But then that's where, you know, for those, you know, if you give them an incentive,
Yeah.
you know, and you just have to crunch the numbers to see, you know,
I
how
don't
much are
think
we
we
usually
can-
borrowing,
I
how
don't
much
think
are we
we can
usually
incentivize.
paying, and then if you give somebody a little X percentage, you know, off, and maybe it
I
gives them
don't
an
think we
incentive
can
to pay
do
sooner.
that. I feel like we had that conversation and we
Oh.
were told
I
we
would be
can't
surprised
Yeah.
if
we
we
can't
could. I
Yeah.
don't think that's a
incentivize the
Yeah.
taxes down.
I mean,
You
we had
can only
a
pay
client,
once.
come in and she was like, I can't wait for my tax billing, I'm gonna start paying you on a quarterly basis towards it.
Yeah.
So some people don't like to see that big bill all
Right.
at once,
Yep.
they just
Right.
like to feel
Yep.
like, okay, I can pay it.
Yep.
So we
Which
could change
realistically
it.
most people do anyway with escrow accounts, right? Through
Yeah.
their mortgage
Right.
payments. So like,
I always wondered why we
Except it
didn't
stays in
charge
their
like
account.
1% each month that you're late. Like, why don't you just pay 1% if you pay in September, or 2% if you pay, like 1 month late, 2 months? But I checked the statute requires you to charge 8%.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, yeah, so once it's delinquent, you have to pay 8%.
I think that's your
By
incentive is, you
Yes,
know,
exactly.
pay it on
8%
time, it's
pay
not
on
pay
time.
8%.
Now we want you to pay
But
8%
then,
on my tax
but
bills,
then
not
Harvey,
really.
it is actually, from what I've read, it is up to the discretion of the delinquent tax collector, how much interest up to 8% to actually bill someone. They
Is that
have the
right?
ability to adjust
Yes,
that,
that's
that
true.
interest rate.
Oh, no kidding.
But they are the only ones.
Yeah. Okay,
So, however exciting this conversation about
Yeah.
taxes is,
yeah.
can we
Keep
table
going on
it
the
for
budget.
continuation because it's super helpful and really interesting and thank you so much.
Yeah.
And keep going through our first quarter budget review and help us understand what we're looking at and maybe we'll be able to answer a couple of questions and,
All right, so for cash flow, everybody comfortable with
yes.
bank balances? Again, we run out of money on June 1st when we pay the state. We'll move the $1.7 million to Northfield, and it's because the money, the capital account money is in Northfield that we can do the two-froms because it's in the same bank. You
Understood.
don't actually have to physically move the money, which created a problem before.
Right.
Can I say one thing about the banks? So the Historical Society and the library, technically we don't have control over those banks, so to speak, but we are in charge of them because it has the town of Warren's name on the bank account.
So is the cemetery commission different?
Uh,
Because otherwise they
I'm
would
not
be
sure,
on-
but I know speaking to the auditors, she said we are responsible because the town of Warren is on the bank account, even though really we don't have any control over their checkbook. So do we want them to remove our name so we can take it
Well,
off the
if
trial
they keep our
balance?
name, they get 3.1%, even if they only
Sure.
have $2,000
Sure.
in their account.
But
I
we're
just
also
noticed
liable
it's not on
if
It's
here.
not
they
physically been
overdraw.
reconciled, just because it really isn't technically our
Right.
bank
Yeah,
accounts to
yeah.
reconcile, and
Yeah.
I'm supposed to reconcile them because we are responsible for them with our name on them.
So the auditors are saying either take the name off or you should be reconciling.
We have to reconcile, which they've never have been, just
Right.
because we are responsible for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just letting you know that's why it's on the
Should
trial
address.
balance, even though we are not responsible for expenses.
Do we
and-
we need to answer this question?
Just letting you know.
We do need to
We
answer
need
it.
to-
Well, yeah, we kind of need to answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what
I
do
don't
we
mind
think?
that we should reconcile them. I
And
mean,
that means asking for their books?
well, I mean, you can just see it online. I don't, you know,
Oh.
all the
When I log into
information.
the bank, I can see the
Yeah.
bank accounts, so.
I don't think you need anything.
So
from
is
them.
it like a lot of extra work?
No, it's just a matter of
I
putting
know
a
Jim
generic
spends a lot of
expense
money.
account and a generic income line, just so I can
Okay.
balance. I
So
don't
it's
need to
Warren
do-
Arts, Historical and Cemetery, and is that it?
Warren Arts took their money out of our
Warren Arts took
bank
their money
account.
out.
Oh, it's still on here.
Well,
I think it's,
we're still trying to determine.
yeah, we're still trying to determine if they could do that or not.
Okay, but what we
But
don't
that's
have is the cemetery commission. I'm asking on behalf of the cemetery commission that we
I
need to be.
do have, I can
Oh, I
see the
didn't-
cemetery.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it on here.
Mhm.
Is it on here?
Let's see if I can see
It's a spreadsheet open.
Is that the restoration one? What's,
it. That is
That's
for
Brent's.
I don't
the-
think
that's
so.
Brent's.
It's WAC.
That's Warren Arts Committee.
They have two?
they should stop getting CDs because now they earn more on their
Yeah,
checking
CD.
account than the CDs.
And that's up to them.
But they
Yeah.
needed our money, and look, there it is, $9,752. They had it the whole time?
And the,
Sorry, what's going on?
I don't, that's the only one I don't see is on here is the cemetery, but
So you
it
see the
is.
cemetery, when I log in, I
Yeah.
can see the cemetery's bank account, so yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I thought, and we are closing out the CDs, right, and putting them,
That is up to,
no,
for
no,
ours.
no,
we went-
Megan said she would close them all out.
yeah,
But
It's
we
up
can't-
to the
we-
individual, like the cemetery.
Yeah, the board can't
Historical.
do that for the historical.
We could do it for
society.
septic and anything
we
general,
did, yeah.
But not those other ones.
not the library.
okay, so are we
I thought-
communicating with those committees and commissions to ask them if they want to?
The Historical Society said yes,
Yes.
to go ahead and do it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But they're the only ones that we've gotten, I haven't had a chance to talk to
We're
Marie
getting
yet.
a better interest rate.
Okay,
Yeah.
But it makes it
and
simpler.
Absolutely.
And the septic we can do because it's the town's.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a library.
Patty, is that something that you could do? Talk
can
to
do
Marie
this,
and
yeah.
ask her if she wants the CD and I guess we're still investigating what's happening with the Warren Arts Committee, but
Yeah.
do they have a CD still?
the warrant
It looks like they do.
I think they
for
pulled, I think they pulled
9,700.
everything
You
out.
see these things?
She pulled everything
Certificate of
out. We just
deposit.
don't, we just
It's something you buy and you can't.
Okay.
don't open.
Hold it for like-
Wow. Okay,
These have all just rolled, I think, in large part, and so the interest rate they're getting is terrible.
well, I know, but this is as of May 26th, and so I guess I'm feeling a little confused. If the accounts were emptied, we have balances here of 6,771.
No, I think we probably
and
just
I
need to
guess
follow up
752.
with Megan to tell her, confirm whether, yes, she should close out all these CDs and roll that money in.
Okay,
Yeah, we just need to confirm with the,
Yeah,
I think we agreed that we wanted to do that.
we did.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then we'll just
absolutely.
have the auditors when we're here, we'll do an journal entry to remove the warrant arts off our trial balance if the money has been officially moved.
Okay,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think the fire department has an account too, which is, but that's theirs.
I don't see that in here.
Yeah,
I was wondering about that too.
That is all, that's all
that's all theirs.
in the WVFA account.
So that's not on here.
Not on there.
It shouldn't be on here.
Correct.
So it doesn't have town of Warren. Right.
Correct. They're their own
Mm-hmm.
501c3 and,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay,
So bank balances, cash flow,
awesome. What's next? What are these? Which one are we
Budget.
working off of?
I just did, that first quarter one I just did today, on your right hand.
This is the
That's
newest
the
one.
first quarter budget.
What is this
Versus
one?
actual. I can see from.
That's the one you sent to me last week, Patty.
Was it?
Oh.
Okay, so I don't need this
Let's
one
do
right
this
now.
one.
Okay,
We're doing this one?
this one, vertically oriented. Thank you.
the vertical. So we collected five, so this is through March 31st.
So this is March, okay, that's my,
First quarter.
okay.
We
Yep.
collected 500,000, 285 in delinquent taxes,
What was it?
285,000 delinquent,
Right,
57,000 in interest, 25,000 in SDR.
Yeah, so I wonder, do we need to go through line by line, or do we want to go to lines that we have questions about?
I've already been through it line by line, I have my questions,
Yes.
so.
Do you want to start there?
Or
Did you see the
Or
email that I
Harvey,
sent?
do you?
I did, I don't have it pulled up,
Okay.
because I thought we were gonna talk.
Got it.
I mean, I would just walk through the totals in each section. And
Let's
then
do it.
To the extent
Okay,
we had
that's
a
great.
question. Select board, I think we're good.
Yep,
We spent 8,900. Our budget's 23.
Sorry, I'm just gonna stop us. On this particular one, it doesn't have a printout of what these columns are.
right.
Budget,
First column.
total to date, or?
These,
First quarter, March 31st.
these
Okay,
are
budget.
expenses.
Actual.
And then on the other one we were looking at, it had month to date in the right-hand column. And I didn't understand that
I had it,
because
I don't remember, I have to look at what you said.
It's
May.
MTD expenditures in this last
Okay.
column. I was confused by that as well.
So
but
MTD is
it-
meeting month to date.
right, but which month?
Oh,
Probably the March month.
It would be March.
Okay.
Okay, that was what I was
Yeah.
getting. Okay.
So in select board, we did confirm from the email that the 2860 and other
Yeah.
was the
treasurer.
pre-election.
Right, was
Correct.
paying for Patty
Treasurer.
before she was
Yeah.
employed.
Pre-election.
Yeah.
Town administrator looks fine. Town clerk looks fine
Yeah,
to me.
go ahead.
Town treasurer looks fine. Office assistant, who's that?
The office assistant is Carrie.
We don't currently have one right now.
Okay.
But
It
we
was
had
Carrie.
one,
It was
and
Carrie.
she recently
She resigned.
She's
resigned.
still doing Elegy.
She's doing.
She's still doing STR and
wastewater.
wastewater. Yep.
That'd be different budget.
But yeah, that comes out of a different budget.
What's
This
the
is only
auditors?
through the end of March anyway. Yeah, why is it
Human
listed as auditors? Why is human resources under auditor?
I have no idea.
That's just
I
the
think
way it was
that's,
set up.
yeah.
Change it.
What is
I
it though?
changed the verbiage.
What
That's
is,
HR, that's Rebecca.
So that could change to
I can
human
change it to
resources.
Human resources.
Yeah.
is it an expense budget or is it a salary budget?
Salary budget.
Oh, okay.
So Rebecca, I did ask that question. I'm sorry to put you on the spot here.
Yeah, it was, so that gets paid out quarterly,
Right.
and I needed some emergency funds, and so I paid out an extra quarter.
So you made a request to have that paid
Yeah.
early.
Yep.
Okay, is that something we typically do?
Yeah, Dana has done that before for other people.
Is that something that lives within the purview of the treasurer to do, or is it something that should come before the board?
I don't know the answer to that.
Paying salary in advance, essentially,
Oh,
In advance.
right? It's essentially in advance.
Yeah,
advance on pay?
Yeah.
yeah. I think,
What's the question? Is that,
Is that something that the treasurer could okay
It's
without board
discretion
approval?
to it.
Right, has discretion on.
I think if it's in the budget, I would say yes.
Like there's, other payouts, so like the wastewater gets paid out monthly.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
it's whatever deal they made with the treasurer at the time,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
So treasurer, we're comfortable with the treasurer making those decisions.
I think let's
To the
circle
level
circle
the
back to
treasurer is
this.
comfortable with it.
Is the
Um,
treasurer comfortable with it?
I am comfortable.
Okay. Listers, looks fine. Zoning administrator, looks fine.
Sorry, hold on. Ooh. What was the other question I had about planning assistant? Oh, that was. Sorry.
Yeah,
I have the
so
answers here.
basically,
Thank you.
we didn't have, a salary line set up for the STR administrator, so it was coming out of planning
Right, that's
assistant.
right.
And so, we just have to do a journal entry, to move those funds over to the STR line.
Okay, where were we? Sorry, I was making a note.
So the 131 STR admin, we don't have any actual numbers, we just need to do a journal entry.
Yeah.
over.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And it was coming out of something else.
Planning assistant.
Planning assistant, right there. Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna go back to the 126, the listers. Reappraisal wages. That's
So that needs to, so then that is also capital that just needs to have
That'll
a
get
journal entry done.
reimbursed. Yeah, good.
Okay, STR admin will be filled in.
Yes.
Delinquent tax collector.
Let's see, planning,
What is
Method
this saying
planning.
to me? Commissions is what they've been paid out from what they took in for delinquent taxes?
Penalties.
Yeah, there's no budget for it.
Is the
Right.
commission's the penalty,
So this
I'm
is-
assuming?
I
That's
think
what-
that must be the 4% of
Correct.
the 8%,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And I think, she mentioned that they're probably gonna do a tax sale, in November. So we won't see that one for a while.
can we go back up
Yep.
to, Mad River Valley planning that had no budget?
100, which one?
So 130, 38, 10, 98.
Only 38.
So that
100-30.
should, it's 71,751.
Which one?
So 100-30,
Oh, okay.
it's 17,000.
17,937,
Yeah, where is that actually going?
yeah.
Matter Valley Planning has a line item in the special
It must be
appropriations.
somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh, is
that
over
should be
there?
a special appropriation, right?
No, it's not, it's under planning commission.
Planning commission?
It's funky, like line underneath.
Might just be a reclass, right? The,
So if you,
I have this
if
down.
you grab
Yeah,
one of the reports
Redo
behind
it
you.
on fly.
no,
It's not,
County
It's,
administrator.
Yeah,
it's like
it's like
kind
it's
of
in the wrong
on its
place.
own budget. We budgeted 71,000.
so that's a reclass. We just need to put that in the right bucket.
Correct. No, I think it's the right bucket. I don't think she put in a,
Oh, we just don't have a
Right
budget in
there.
Oh,
there.
here's.
Matter Valley Planning
Oh, this was in your
District,
email.
71,751
Oh,
is
so
the
it's just-
budget.
It's
It
just a
just says
typo.
this might be an error, but we don't know.
it's not an error. We budgeted for it.
We budgeted, it's
But
just,
it's
we need to
funny
put it in the
because it's
spreadsheet.
outside
Yeah.
this list.
So it might just need to be
So
added to number.
it's just something that
Okay.
is gonna get flagged continually if we don't.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've got it highlighted that, so that we,
So it just needs a new line.
Yeah,
It is budgeted
Yeah.
and then it's on budget.
yeah, yeah.
And then planning commission is on budget.
Right.
Yep.
Good.
And then the Granicus question.
Was software, no,
Yeah,
Software
computers.
support.
software support.
That's the Granicus software. They never received the first check, and it looks like it was never voided in the system.
Well, so the more that we investigated today, so when I was doing accounts payable before
Yeah.
Patty came, they kept saying to me, we haven't received our check, we haven't received our check.
Right.
So the more I looked into it, the woman said, you know, that's not an address that we typically get accounts payable sent to, so can you reissue another check to the correct address? So I had asked for the check to be voided and a new check issued to a different address. Patty and I investigated today and both checks have been deposited.
You're
So
kidding.
I sent them an email basically asking for us to be refunded the 30,000, you know, the extra payment. So I said, well, first I asked for them to confirm that they did in fact receive both deposits and that they deposited both checks. But then I said, if that's the case, can you please refund us the 30,000? You know, I think, you know, with all of the things, I think it looks like from their deposit on the back of the check that it's a credit to our account, but I think with all of the things that have been happening, we don't want a credit.
Also,
No, we certainly do
exactly.
I thought we were
That's our
withholding
money,
the
we need
second
that.
check until they actually picked up.
There was
the
no
phone.
second
There
check,
was-
it was just one.
One payment.
One payment.
check.
No, I know, but we weren't gonna
Oh,
resend, we weren't gonna reissue the check that they said they didn't get.
Well, I
Until they
think that
paid
that's,
attention
I
to
think that's
us.
why they weren't paying attention to us is because they hadn't received the check. Because as soon as they received that check, Carrie was flooded with responses.
So when did,
So we
They
just
both-
discovered this
They
today.
were cashed within 4 days.
when did you send that check? When did they deposit it?
In March.
And if both of them were 4 days of each other, the end of March.
Yeah.
Okay, so
One
they've
went
got,
to Arizona and
$30,000
one went
of our
to
money.
Illinois.
So
Yes,
I
we
sent
charge them interest.
the woman from accounts payable and asked these
Yeah.
questions. She hasn't written back yet. So I have it
They're
flagged
gonna wanna just keep
and
it
we'll stay on it.
applied against the
Yeah,
next payment.
absolutely.
But we're not sure that we're gonna keep working with them, so they need to refund it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have that flagged.
Okay, please keep us in the
Yep.
loop. Okay. Postage. Computers, that's the one we were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because it's at 60.
Conservation Commission.
We
Yeah,
won't really
I'm-
see any
I'm
activity in
confused
here
by this.
until
That's grants.
Those are grants?
those are grants that he's
Okay.
received.
Yeah.
His
They're greater
his
than what
interns
he
start
does.
next week, and that's when you'll start to see activity in here.
Okay.
So he's over budget. I mean, he's
He's
he-
in the black.
He's
He's
making,
making money.
He's
Yeah.
a revenue center.
Yes, he's, yeah.
He's good at that, and then he rolls it over to the next year, and we're like, you can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then he's like, why not? It's my money. And we're like, sorry, buddy.
Nice try.
Fire
Okay,
department
that looks good.
looks good. Wastewater looks good. What's the 1983 in wastewater?
Yeah, operation and maintenance. Isn't that paid out by the user fees?
I'll have to look into that.
Or is it capital?
It's not capital.
Okay.
I think it's mostly covered by the user fees, but we don't see that here.
That's, yeah, that would,
Yeah,
We
I'll
only
look
see
at it.
expenditures here.
Yeah.
I have it highlighted.
should offset.
This report is extremely helpful though. Thanks,
Oh,
man.
it's great.
My favorite.
Constable looks fine. Emergency management looks fine.
I just want to flag that the constable, is this the sheriff as well?
No.
No,
No,
it's just,
okay.
The
Sorry.
last line.
oh, Washington County Patrol, it is.
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
yeah, I was looking at this and just trying to see, are we on track to like
No.
actually spend the budget?
No, right?
I have another bill I haven't entered.
And we're not.
So.
Oh, there's more.
Well, and so ironically, I sent them the contract back,
surprise.
and because they have a fiscal year, and so I based their fiscal year on our calendar year, and so
Right.
they received it, and Brett called me. He's like, have we done something wrong? He's like, are you withholding money from us? I said, no, if you do the math based on your fiscal year and our calendar
I
year,
see.
that's all we owe you for this year, and then we'll owe you more for next year. And
The
he
only
was
thing
like,
they're doing wrong is not actually fulfilling the budget.
well, and I told him that. I said, historically, we budget the 43,680 and you don't spend it.
They get to like 34, I
As
think.
of right
That's
now,
okay.
as
It's
of
good to be
May,
under
they
budget.
spent
Yeah.
11,401.
Spend less.
Yeah.
And I have another bill on my desk.
Okay.
so-
If he's gonna come in 10,000
Let's
under
go
budget,
check.
maybe you found the
Yeah.
path money.
Okay.
And they've been the sheriff who's typically here has been at the police academy getting some additional
Yes.
training. But yeah.
Okay, library,
Not sure what the benefits. We'll have to look at that.
Why?
there's no budgeted
No budget
money
in
there.
Budget.
Oh,
But there is budgeted money, so I'll look at it.
Huh.
I think we
Okay.
had talked about that.
Recreation.
library.
Library.
101,000?
benefits.
The benefits line.
It says 101,000 is the budget.
Line on here. Oh, no, it doesn't.
This line is blank.
Salaries is a hundred. Oh, no.
Oh, benefits by committee.
Yeah,
I don't know why that would.
Just looks like it went to the wrong line, yeah.
Probably
maybe.
the wrong one.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
that's a liability. That would be in the balance
Two
sheet.
lines there, 'cause
Don't you think?
it has benefits down below.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look into it.
To me, that's a liability in
Yeah.
the balance sheet.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yep.
Recreation, nobody's spending anything.
What's the park and rec, the 25,000? What was
That's
that? For?
our grounds keeping.
So Lucas.
Which we have, but we did just pay something.
Yeah,
We just
he got
paid
his half of
Half.
his.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll populate in there. It's like
Yeah.
11,000
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, he's 15 a year, and then the rest of it is
Nancy.
Nance. It's Village Gardens. It's
Yeah.
like there was some railing, split rail fencing that got damaged over the winter, so that's what will fix that.
That 25 is not the cemetery? Because
No.
because the town does pay $25,000.
Yeah, no, that's its own
Maintenance.
budget.
That's a
Okay.
special
Yep.
appropriation, right?
The
that
park
what it
and
is?
rec, we paid 1,000 so far. Through
So is there any money in here that could be used for Misha? It's the rec budget. I don't think there is. Bad River Valley Rec gets 40. Lucas gets 15 and you have 10 in the Parks and Rec for
The gardens
fences
and the
and
rest of the
flowers
stuff.
and-
Yeah.
I don't see the 25. I don't see the cemetery.
Yeah, I don't
here.
see the cemetery on here either, but we do
That's
budget
it.
for them.
It's an exact 25,000, which is
Mhm.
why I wondered if that's what it is.
Can you give me that book, please?
It's not in special appropriations either.
No, it's
No.
not a.
Where is it?
But they do have their
No,
own.
it's just that the town is taking over paying for the mowing of the cemetery.
Cemetery grounds
Cemeteries.
maintenance, it's right here, 25,000. So I don't know why it's not. Patty might have just missed it. Cemetery grounds maintenance.
What's it
It's
under?
it's funky because it's right underneath this line. So I wonder if
Yeah.
you just missed it.
Okay.
So, but we'll
What's it under?
cemetery grounds maintenance
Sewer.
up here.
Okay, it's just its own
25.
It's its own-
Its own line.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't put it into anything.
Which is the same way Mad River Planning appears. So
Correct.
it's the same
So
thing.
yeah, I have notes for us.
I will go over this tomorrow.
But this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because it's a work in
Yeah.
progress. This is
Exactly.
great. Highway maintenance. Looking good.
About a lot of
Fingers
salt.
crossed that the fuel expenses don't blow us out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building maintenance.
What are you at right now?
Where are we? Is that what you're asking?
Building maintenance.
Solid waste.
So the only, I mean, yeah, no.
Is that an annual, I mean,
Mhm.
a
Yeah,
year,
solid waste management is that
one time?
one
Yeah.
time.
I mean, I think it looks good.
Fuel right now is 30.
We haven't paid the dog warden in 2 years, by the way.
Now, let's keep it that way.
We just paid him today.
I'm the dog warden.
You're not the dog warden.
I'm not?
No, Jeff is.
Jeff's the dog warden
Yeah.
now?
He is?
Well, I decided that
You paid him something? Can I get paid for last year?
he never billed for it, girlfriend.
Is it too late?
Yeah.
25 is closed.
Because nobody, what's her face, she
I
said
know,
that she wasn't
she
able to
said
do
no.
it, so.
Well, that's good. We have a dog warden, it's not you.
That's great. I love it. I'll give him the leash
Yeah,
back.
he said you can just leave it in there. For special reminders.
So my question about, sorry, under other expenditures,
Solar
if
array.
we moved on. Yeah, is that the final payment?
That is the final
That was-
payment. And like I said, in the email, the treasurer kept all that stuff.
Right.
And I guess I didn't realize that there was another 19,000 that was added to that payment. So, I need to look at it. I have it highlighted. I was doing all the requisitions for the bond payment today.
So
I
that
have it.
was
I'm gonna look
similarly
into
like
it.
a schedule like we have. And we just,
Yeah,
Right,
and it should have been in here. So I have to go look at it.
so we under budgeted.
Correct.
yeah, by $19,271.
Sugar Bush pedestrian path on the next page,
Yeah,
52,000.
what is that? I don't understand that either.
Do we make a payment to
That's the payment,
on
right?
Oh, what was that?
158?
That's the work that's being done up at Sugar Bush for
Sugar
the
Bush.
pedestrian path.
That we all. that
So
we
Sugar Bush
committed 2 years
had
ago.
given us 200,000, and I think the last time I ran the trial balance, there was a chunk of change in there, but it's dwindling.
So why isn't there,
Shouldn't it be capital then?
yeah,
Wasn't it-
I guess it's coming out like it's a negative, but
Yeah.
haven't we budgeted for it already?
So there is money in there,
Which account is this really in?
and I
wasn't
don't know.
really-
That was a question that I was going to ask Patty today, and we just both ran out of
I
time.
know, is it in there?
The Sugar Bush pedestrian
But
path,
we got the money in a prior year, so it should be in
158.
capital.
52,000? We talking about?
Yeah, the 52,000.
I think it's a fixed, because it's a fixed cost.
$52,159.88.
It gets rolled over, is what,
Oh, yeah.
how it was explained to me.
Oh.
But this was one of the ones I was gonna talk to Patty about, and like I
Yeah.
said, I just ran out of time today. Because on our trial balance, when you print it from Nemrick, like the first or second line says Sugar
Yeah.
Bush, it's an income. And so I think it's an in and out account.
I mean,
I don't understand.
it sounds to me like it's capital. But
I guess it could be. I don't know, it was set up long before I got here.
well, that's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
The cash came in a long time ago,
Right.
and now we're
Right.
drawing it down.
Should've been
That's
sitting in a
capital by
capital account.
definition, yeah. I mean, it's not maintenance, so
Right.
it should be capital.
So Patty, are you following us here?
52,000?
Yeah.
159.88, it's under the Sugar Bush pedestrian path.
Mhm.
So I think we'd like to make sure that that's aligned with a capital account that does actually
That has
have the
the
money already
200,000 in
set
it.
aside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's getting drawn down. And then when that capital account is empty,
Right.
we have paid our contribution. And so similarly, if we decide to commit another match to the path,
You have to set it up.
we need to
No.
set up another capital account into which we fund 100,000 every year for that $400,000 match. And I need that to rest with you because we're gonna forget to do it.
And you need to dig into a little bit further, because what I don't understand is, I know Sugar Bush gave us money. Did we ever put our money into it?
We have not put our money into it yet.
Right, and
Correct.
we owe them, we agreed to
Mhm.
put money in,
Yeah.
and it's not in a capital account somewhere.
Correct.
Okay, so wait,
So-
this 52,000 may actually be in the red then?
No,
No,
you
it's
said
not.
there is
Okay.
There is money
still
in
from
the-
Sugar Bush,
correct.
and that's being drawn off of it. But we agreed to, but it's not like we have
We
to
haven't
decide
been
whether.
funded.
we
Our
have to.
match, if I remember correctly, our match is 168,000.
Yeah.
And from when I took it over from Bob, he said that we shouldn't have to pay that until 2027.
Okay, but we have
But we
to
should be
budget for
allocated,
it.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying,
Hopefully
like,
not all
So we
in
need a
one year.
capital account for the Sugar Bush
Right.
pedestrian path and a capital account for the,
Mad River,
whatever we call
What are we calling
Misha's
that?
thing.
Jeff, what are we calling that?
You can call it
An RTA.
Yeah, MRTA, MRTA.
Well, no, that's the
Segment one.
organization,
It's the
but
bike ped.
it's the path, the Warren Waitsfield path or.
Oh,
what do you
active
call it?
transportation corridor,
Yeah, you can call it
ATC.
phase one of
phase one,
active transportation corridor.
ATC,
Yeah, so we need-
segment one.
2 new capital accounts.
Not that you have allocated any money to that yet.
No, but
No, we
we'll,
haven't, but
but if
let's-
we build
yeah,
the
if we
capital
do.
account on the
Yeah.
spreadsheet, then we can start
If we
funding
agree,
it.
if we agree to.
If we agree to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we already agreed for the Sugar Bush one, so we have to do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if we agree to do the matter of path, we have to do that as well.
Right.
Okay,
Special appropriations, I assume we do them later in the year.
November, after taxes have
Yeah, okay.
all
what
come
it is?
in. Mhm.
Yeah, makes sense.
okay, and insurance,
Insurance.
fine, county tax, when do we pay that? And what do they do with that? How many times are we gonna ask that question?
We did, we asked.
That
right,
usually
CVIPC?
it's right before the end of the
for
year.
Courts and stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
the district court,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. And they tell, basically the state tells us what we pay.
Essentially.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Send you
We get a phone call and she
Not
tells us
optional,
what it is
yeah.
and we stick it in the budget.
Okay.
I do think there's an opportunity at some point, maybe next year, to bring the insurance company, what's their name?
The old passive.
Passive.
Oh,
They said they would come out and
Yeah.
walk us through all of our coverage, and they actually
Good.
evaluate our claim history and set our coverage based on our claim history for all the different categories, and they seem really good. They
that's
spoke
great.
at the
They're great.
Select Board Essentials, they
Yep.
seem super good, but at some point, when there's more breathing room,
Mhm.
Yeah,
we should have them come and tell us about it.
okay,
Can I just, septic tank pumping? Oh, sorry. I didn't
no,
know.
yeah, no, I.
It's just, it's, oh, is that a head?
That must be a header,
head-
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And then the,
I had
Categories
this
are
all
below.
done and my computer died and I'm like, oh my gosh.
oh no,
I had to
oh
redo
no.
it, So,
Okay, sorry, I just, I see it now. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
So we
is great.
spent
This is great.
$899,858, and our budget was $900,000 for expenses.
Wow,
Nice job,
that's impressive.
that's good.
So far, so good.
So far, no extra
So far, no extra
$10,000
money
sitting
sitting
around.
there.
Yeah.
so just to confirm, we're gonna just move money from TD over once they pay the state.
Yeah,
Probably
Yeah.
Friday or Monday.
move it to Northfield. Yeah,
The money's already in Northfield.
Okay.
From TD. Well, yeah, the
Oh.
TD money that was capital.
do a do from. You want to do that before you use the 10?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Can we get a clean one of these and send it around? That's
We'll,
great.
we'll work on
Great
it this
start.
week.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Perfect.
Okay, so I want to be mindful that we're way over time here, and still have some things that we need to do. With respect to the quarter one budget review, that's awesome and great. I don't know that we're gonna be able to make a decision about the path.
I didn't see anything in there where it was obvious there was room.
There was room.
What about capital? Could we,
I have some thoughts, but I think, I think we talked about maybe giving them an answer, within like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the reason I pushed them onto this meeting was so that we had an opportunity to follow up and get more information
yeah,
and make a decision without being rushed and needing to do it immediately.
yeah.
And Misha knows that. So I think it's something that we need to readdress on the 9th in order to make a decision. Does that feel reasonable? And Rebecca can look at some things, we can
See if we can
individually figure out what we
find
think
it.
works.
I'll just, for the record, state my concern again that we're trying to come up with $10,000 that we hadn't budgeted to pay for
A study.
a study for a part of the path that we don't have figured out, so that we can then offer money to get them to do the next step of the path. And it seems cart before the horse to me. I feel a little bit like we're being asked to commit funds for something that we don't know, we haven't got the first part of it figured out yet. And actually, I had another question. Maybe we kind of answered it, but if we agreed to sign the letter of support or whatever and committed the $400,000, then if the grant, I don't know when the grant would be approved. Do we know when would you find out whether you received the grant?
We would find out, I believe, in the fall, August, September.
Okay, so then,
They're a little vague, they being the state, that's what I believe.
so then the board has agreed to spend $400,000 in a budget that the town has not yet approved.
Sorry.
So if the board signs this letter of support and says, if you get the grant, we'll give you $400,000.
Over 4 years.
Right,
Yeah.
And
which is
then,
what we did already
Last
for the
year.
prior.
they didn't, yeah, no, I,
Right, yeah,
yes.
whether we did it
Yeah.
or not, I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand it.
yeah.
So then when we set the 2027 budget, we would be putting into that budget,
$100,000.
$100,000.
$100,000 a year,
Yeah.
yeah.
and if it didn't pass, we would have already committed it.
No, the award for the grant is prior to March of next year, isn't it?
Hopefully, yes.
So in other words, if by June 12th, you have to say, yes, I will give that, we will give that money if you win it,
Yeah.
if you are awarded it. In November,
we
say it's
knew in-
awarded,
I'm pretty sure that I think that the information that we did not receive the grant was either late January or February.
Yeah, but we can budget 127. We're not gonna put it in until November 27 anyway. If they don't get the grant, we don't put it in.
if you do
What
get
happens
the
if you get
grant
the grant?
and the town
town
doesn't approve it,
Yeah.
Oh,
you've
the town
already
doesn't approve
committed
the
the
grant.
funds
Oh, well,
that
yeah.
you've committed to funds that the
Yeah.
town has not approved. That's what I'm trying to ask a question.
Yep,
Yes, I think you're right.
that's true.
I mean, yes, and I think we do that in all kinds of different ways, but yes, you're right.
Okay.
I mean, maybe that's in the new letter of support, maybe that's something that we put in there.
I don't know how that works, and it's just, it's a logistical thing that
Right.
suddenly occurred to me that
Yeah,
this board would be committing to spend funds that the town has not agreed to spend.
and we did it with the Sugar Bush Path. We still
Exactly.
haven't allocated the money for the Sugar Bush Path.
Yep.
So it's an interesting question and one that maybe lies with VLCT. Maybe there's follow-up there.
Yeah, how do you deal with multi-year
Yeah.
Right.
commitment?
Can I move us along? Are we good?
Please.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna move on to other business and I'm gonna cede the floor to Camilla.
Okey dokey. I have a letter of resignation to deliver. And I'm gonna read it. This is my public service announcement at the same time. Members of the Warren Selectboard and Town of Warren staff. This letter serves as my official resignation from the Warren Select Board effective as of June 4th, 2026. It's been a privilege and most definitely an education for me since I took this seat in 2019. Truthfully, it has also been exhausting and challenging at times. I know that there are some who will speculate as to the timing of my stepping down, so let me be clear that there's no specific event, action, or incident that precipitates this decision. I've been contemplating turning over my seat for some time, but my fellow board members have beaten me to it at the past 2 elections, so I've stayed on for the sake of consistency. With the recent loss of our newest member, it was tempting to put this off once again because I know how much more work that puts on Joel, Devin, and Harvey, but I also know that my time has come. I've had many conversations over the last 2 years in which I encouraged Warren residents to run for the open seats on this board. I can tell you that nearly everyone I spoke to said they would like to someday, or had considered in the past, serving the town in this capacity, but they also expressed that they were too busy to give the job the time and attention that they thought it deserved. I completely understand that. Every board member with whom I've served over the past 7+ years has had more on their plates than they could handle. We manage our own businesses, work full-time, raise children, or care for elderly parents. We're on other volunteer boards and committees and have our own health and well-being to attend to. No one actually has the time to give this role what it really needs. I'd like us all to consider, though, what happens if we don't step up. Here are a couple of scenarios. The same people continue to sit on this board over the years because they feel they cannot leave the board empty. And those same people make decisions that are influenced by their own perspectives and experiences. And I'm not saying that's inherently bad, but it is limiting. Another scenario could be that we end up with a smaller board. A smaller board would mean fewer voices making those decisions. It would also likely mean a more robust paid staff to manage Warren's affairs. What that would mean is that more of our tax dollars go to the salaries and benefits for those positions. Right now, the town pays just $7,500 a year for that management. It's my hope that going forward, we see a diverse and representative group of individuals sitting at this table on Tuesday nights, engaging in meaningful discussion, which sometimes includes debate. The best decisions in my time on the board came about when new voices chimed in with different perspectives, and those at the table were able to listen, hear, and set aside their egos enough to allow their own opinions to evolve. So here's my suggestion. If you have ever seriously contemplated offering yourself in service to the town through its select board, this is the ideal opportunity for you to give it a try. My seat only has 9 months left in its term. In the next 9 months, the board will tackle dozens of subjects and issues, including building the proposed budget for the upcoming year. I can assure you that you will learn more than you want to know about what it really takes to keep our roads and bridges strong, our bills paid, our buildings open and operable, our town employees healthy and feeling valued. You will understand what this role asks of its members, and then you can make an educated decision about whether it is worth your time. It was definitely worth mine. Respectfully, Camilla W.
Thanks, Camilla. Well said.
I will miss sitting in this seat. And I hope to continue to be heavily involved in our conversations because I enjoy it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will submit that to Lisa.
I'm sure she's asking for it already.
She's not even on.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know that we have much time for any of the rest of this, but what do we have to do? The tax anticipation note signatures.
Yep.
Which, can we not do that with signatures?
We can do that with signatures. I just wanted to make sure that
Okay,
I
yeah.
remembered it in my brain.
Can we?
The security selection, I put it under there because it's something that we just need to
Yeah,
do
if
sooner rather than later.
everyone could please make sure they review those, and if you have any questions, send them to Rebecca, and maybe we can make that decision at the next meeting.
Yep.
I think similarly with the map for the 4th of July, if you can review it and raise any questions via email to Ben
Or to me,
or
whichever.
to Rebecca, or both.
And I can pass them on.
I have looked at this. I don't have any issues. I did suggest, I'm not okay with the food vendor on the cemetery road. And I'm pretty sure I already told him that. But it seems to have come back. That road is like fully blocked with people always.
Yeah.
And it's just not gonna work. And it's also a really helpful spot for people to sit who have trouble standing that didn't bring chairs, like they sit on that wall.
Right.
I just don't think that's a good spot. I have asked him multiple times about Flatiron, but he doesn't seem to
Well, and
go
so
there, maybe it feels like not.
the other thing that Jeff and I are working on with North Branch is getting a designated vendor Wi-Fi connection, because a lot of the vendors have complained that there's not reliable Wi-Fi
Yep.
for their payment system.
Yep.
And so we have a designated Wi-Fi connection for just the vendors to use, and Jeff and I aren't sure if that connection will reach that far over.
And wasn't there something about vendors not wanting to be on Flatiron?
Yeah, he kept
Something
saying
felt
that
like
he
it
wasn't
was out
sure
of
if that was like prime real estate.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are opportunities like pretty close.
Yeah.
By the
right,
gazebo,
just right on.
yeah, like right there, that's not out of the way.
Right.
And I would say if this one needs to move, that's where it should probably go.
Yep.
On that corner.
So I've asked North Branch how far, what's the radius that they think that Wi-Fi will reach, so that Ben can have a better idea of where he can put people.
Okay, so if anyone has any concerns, please send them to Rebecca. Mine is just that one vendor on Cemetery Road.
Yep.
Okay,
Adam's map.
should we do signatures before executive session?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Northfield Savings Bank, tax anticipation note.
It's
One
on the
last
back.
hurrah.
On the back.
Thanks, Patty. That was awesome.
Well, I was just
Oh,
giving
I
that
see.
to her so she
Got it.
could name. Thank you, Patty, for your time.
I have to stay for executive
Making a
session.
motion.
Yes, please.
I move that we that we approve the tax anticipation note, Northfield Savings Bank for $1 million.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Where am I signing?
I think you sign up here.
Oh, above it. Yeah, see? Good thing. Here, we just put that together. Signature. All right, here, Joel, why don't you do accounts payable and payroll, please?
Accounts payable for $52,467, for $467.77.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And payroll for $36,812.11, or is that 92? I think it's 12.
This is the first column.
12.
Yeah.
I was trying to do math and I can't right now. So, do we have a
It's
second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And liquor license for Waterbury Rotary Club. Limited event, one-time occasion. What is this? What is this? Rusty Parker Park. Nope, that's not here.
Waterbury?
Physical location, 296 School Street, Brooks Field, July 4th. Waterbury Rotary. They are going to
Bring booze?
bring booze.
Yeah, they're usually the. Okay.
Site will be
That's
fenced
4th of July.
in to control age access. Vehicle access will be prohibited. Outside consumption. July 4th.
I did not.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Moved. So moved.
Waterbury Rotary Club
Good call.
for July 4th, special event. Do we have a second? Joel seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 That's it. I move to enter executive session for personnel.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Thank you all.